from Clifton Park, the Leah Cars High School football Friday night matchup in Section 2 is Colonie at Shenendehowa from Shenendehowa High School. And welcome upstairs, friends. Glad to see you on this picture-perfect Friday night for high school football. Alongside Times Union High School sports reporter James Allen, I am Chris Watson. It is week 2 of the high school football season. Last week, to get it started, Shenendehowa, a winner 28-14 over Guilderland. Colonie dropped their season opener. Bit of a surprise to Bethlehem. Both teams looking to see kind of what week 2 has in store here tonight.
Certainly an important game for both teams. I mean, Shen would like to get out to that 2-0 start, and Colonie would like to avoid that 0-2 start.
And it is huge because if you were with us last week, we talked about it. A new look in Class AA this year here in Section 2. You've only got 10 teams, so only the top 4 go right to the semifinal round. So you've got to start thinking about the playoffs probably a lot earlier than you want to. And in the back of Colonie's mind, 0-2 is tough to overcome.
It's very imperative that they get off to a strong start, Chris, because, 0-2, you know that you're really your season's in peril. I mean, you can make up and you can get on a hot streak, but boy, your margin for error is pretty much nil.
We will learn a lot about both teams here tonight. Marissa Jack's down on the sidelines with us again this week. And Marissa, you look at the teams and there is a size difference not only in roster size, but really in the personnel as well. What do you see down there tonight?
Absolutely, Chris. 30 guys on the roster for Colonie, 50 on the Shenendehowa roster. And when you look at the two schools, very different as well. 9 through 12, 1,500 students at Colonie. At Shenendehowa, 3,000. But when you talk to Colonie, they understand they're the underdogs. They play with a chip on their shoulders. They love it that way. Shenendehowa, they understand that they're going to get everybody's best effort. And let's be honest, people don't really like Shen unless you go here. And the Plainsmen, they like it that way as well. So it should be an interesting matchup, Chris.
Absolutely, Marissa. And you know what? And they know it as well. They know everyone is coming for them because no matter what the year, they are one of the favorites, and this year is no different. Throw Shaker in the mix as well. All right, so let's talk about key players in tonight's game. Who are you going to look at as the guys to watch? Let's talk Colonie. They need to find a way to get Josiah Kemp the football.
Well, he's a dual threat, Chris. Not only in the offensive vein as a tight end and as a receiver, but also as a defensive end and a linebacker. He's sort of Khalil Mack for them, and they're going to need him to be very, very active on the defensive side.
Not a bad comparison. I hope he doesn't get traded, though. Shenendehowa, listen, it all starts with the quarterback. Brendan Belot's good. He can throw it. He's got a strong arm. He's the guy that makes it go for the Plains.
He had a strong junior season, but he is a different guy now. 7-on-7's really played into his hands, and he's got an offense that's more diversified toward his skill set.
Let's talk about the Leah Auto Group keys to the game. Leah is a proud supporter of local high school football for family, for safety, for the future. It's Leah Cars for Life. James, what do you think tonight?
Well, time to raid. It's Colonie, and it's not only their offense is called the raid. It's a quick raid offense, but they also defensively they get off to a strong start. Shea Kid, if you know Willie Mays, we're talking about Shea Young, the quarterback. It's his 3rd year, but it's only a 6th varsity start. We need him to be a big player tonight. For Shen, it's point of attack. Their offensive and defensive lines are very senior-oriented. They're very much experienced. And rangefinder, we're talking about Brendan Belot, his ability to be able to spread the ball around. They've got to put pressure on him if Colonie wants to have success in defending the pass.
We'll talk more about the beautiful facility that we are inside in this press box as the game goes on. Hey, it's the oldest cliche in football. You make your biggest jump from week 1 to week 2. Let's see what week 2 has in store here in the 2018 Section 2 AA football season next here on Spectrum.
Is your credit score keeping you from driving the car you want? Leah can help. When other dealers can't get you approved, Leah can. Regardless of your credit history, Leah can. We deal directly with over 30 lenders, so we can get you approved with the lowest rates available when other dealers can't. Leah can. Get pre-approved in seconds at leahcredit.com and get the car you want today. For family, for safety, for the future. Leah Cars for Life.
Leah. White Fusion, Blue Escape, Red F-150, hot, forward, ready, break!
Your favorite ride plays here, and now's the best time to score and save big. With a deep roster of new and pre-owned vehicles, get the home field advantage, Ford style, selection, savings, and service, and drive home a winner. Come and see the best lineup in the automotive field at Morris Ford in Burnt Hills.
Our Carriers will always be number 1.
Boats by George is making a splash with savings. It's boating season, and now is the best time to save big on the Cobalt, Four Winds, or Marker One of your dreams. Browse the area's largest indoor showroom and let us help you find a boat that fits your lifestyle. Bow riders, cruisers, pontoons, ski boats, and more, all backed by an award-winning service department operating in a brand new state-of-the-art facility. Trust the dealer that invests in your boating satisfaction.
Boats by George, your winning team
for generations to come.
Celebrating 36 years of service.
Come work for an innovative company that pushes the boundaries of connectivity, entertainment, and information. Spectrum, America's fastest growing TV, internet, and voice provider, is looking for individuals who are interested in making the most out of their career. Employees enjoy full benefits, best-in-class 401k, and complimentary services. Spectrum has a wide range of positions available, so find the right opportunity for you. Just go to jobs.spectrum.com and apply today.
Drum.
The Leah Auto Group Friday night matchup brings us to Clifton Park, Shenendehowa High School. The Class AA matchup tonight. Leah, a proud supporter of local high school football for family, for safety, for the future. It's Leah Cars for Life. Tonight, the Colonie Garnet Raiders take on the Shenendehowa Plainsmen. Head coaches in tonight's game. Fifth-year head coach of the Colonie Garnet Raiders is Eric Rouleau, a Troy High product, a former Siena Saint football player. Now in his fifth year for the Garnet Raiders, trying to get Colonie their first win of this season, opposed by seventh-year head coach and longtime member of the Shen program. That is Brian Clausen, an assistant other Brent Sturwald for many years, now in his seventh year as the head coach, a Johnstown native who played his college football at Ithaca College. Mentioned in the open, a beautiful night for high school football. It is awesome out here tonight. Glad to be inside this new press box facility, but sitting in the stands isn't bad either. It is great. Been a hot week. There's been some practices canceled and postponed, but tonight is awesome for high school football. Not too hot, and it starts to feel like fall at this point in the season, so we're glad to have you with us here tonight on Spectrum. 71 degrees, not a lot of wind. Not expecting it. And as you see, Shenendehowa wearing the green tops with the white pants. The Garnet Raiders from Colonie, the Garnet helmets, the white jerseys, and the black pants as the road team. And James, this actually a playoff rematch from last year. They met in the first round of the Class AA playoffs. Colonie had to come here, take on Shen. Shen won that game 31-12.
It was a close game through the first half, and then Colonie got hit with 3 late penalties in the second quarter. Shen got on the board before halftime and kind of pulled away in the second half. And you notice in that coin flip situation, you see 2 of the Colonie players in street clothes. They got their uniform top on. Eddie Soto, two-way starter, who was the quarterback last year when Shea Young went down, he's out. And also Caden Hughes is also there, and number 10 standing there. The most prominent players for Colonie are not able to go tonight.
So they're down a couple guys, and as Marissa mentioned in her pregame hit, the roster sizes are there's quite a disparity between the two. You've got about 30 guys on the Colonie sideline, give or take, and 50-something on the Shen sideline, and that's something Coach Eric Rouleau said to me. We spoke earlier today, and he said not only do we have to stay healthy, but depth is a concern. We don't have the ability to run the second line and third line out there on here. Colonie on the top. They will start with the football elected to receive.
The depth is an issue, and also the size factor. In terms of the offensive and defensive ends are much smaller than Shen's. To the Shea Young has to have a big game, not only in the passing game, but in the running game. And first and foremost, if you're Colonie, you do not want to be playing from behind. You got to get out to the quick start. Both coaches acknowledge that. They think that key for Colonie, if they want to win this game, they got to be the ones scoring first.
Well, and Coach Rouleau had said, listen, when we come here, when Colonie comes to Shen, the games aren't close. We haven't played well here. We've never been in a game where we feel like we've kept it close enough to have that momentum maybe swing late in the game. He was honest. He said, we've come up here and we've got blown out, and that's got to change tonight. And I think in the back of their mind, Colonie knows to win this football game, obviously you can't get down and dig yourself an early hole, but make it close, keep it respectable, give yourselves a chance into the third quarter, into the fourth quarter if you want to get this win. Because listen, if Colonie wins this football game, it's going to catch a lot of people's eyes around Section 2.
No question. And They want to get their playmakers the football. And the guy in the middle of that formation on the receiving team is somebody that has some speed. He's a junior. His name is Christian Hubbard. And if he can get to the edges, he's got enough speed to break it for a touchdown.
So Mitch Carley will do the kicking for Shenendehowa, number 4. 3 guys are back, the deepest of which at the 10-yard line is Christian Hubbard, number 1. 2 guys flanked at the numbers for him. And this game is underway. Shen and Colonie meeting this Friday night, and that one scoots over everybody's head into the end zone for the touchback. And the Garnet Raiders offense will hit the field first here tonight, led by a pretty good quarterback who, unfortunately, for as good as he's been, has battled his own body to be on the football field, and that is Shea Young. Injuries the last couple years have limited his time on the field. Didn't have a great game in the season opener, and they really wanted him to turn that around tonight.
Well, he's got all sorts of ability, but injuries have limited him. This is his 6th varsity start, and he's been on the team since sophomore year. So this is an opportunity for him to showcase his abilities and to somewhat make up for what they felt like was a game that slipped away. They gave up a touchdown with 15 seconds to go to lose last week to Bethlehem 15-13.
So Young will start from the shotgun with 1 at his side. 4 wide receivers as they spread this thing out. Marcus Gibson, the lone tailback. They will go to Gibson, headed to the right side, wrapped up and dropped behind the line of scrimmage, wasting no time blowing it up. Cameron McNamara, the senior linebacker from Shen. A look at the starting lineup for Colonie. Here is their offensive line, which does feature 1 freshman, and they are a young football team this year.
Yeah, Rogers getting in there as a freshman, and you see there a couple of backs as seniors. Grimes is a veteran as well, and Shea Young, a quarterback.
Colonie goes hurry up. They go to the ground again with Gibson, who gets swallowed up by the defensive line for the Plainsmen. One of the first guys there on the line was Kyle Greger, and here is a look at the Shen defense.
Wyrock and Blowers, both 3-year guys. James Altenberger, the outstanding tight end, is defensive lineman as well. Cunningham, Greger, McNamara. And the very opportunistic safeties and cornerbacks for the Plainsmen.
Young will throw for the first time, complete and immediately wrapped up and dropped. Pass was complete to number 12, 12 Brian Grimes, who was then immediately wrapped up and taken down by Brendan Dissonell.
Dissonell coming up, obviously people know him from his baseball exploits, Division I prospect that'll be going to play into Stony Brook, and nice job coming up, filling in the gap, and Colonie 3 and out on their first series.
So that was a quick 3 and out. That's on 3rd and long, not near enough. So 4th down, punting situation. 2 are back for Shen. Zach Brenner is deep, and this one will be fielded by Brenner at the 45. Looking for the edge on the left side goes Brenner, tripped up, but still on his feet, but knee goes down just about midfield. Brenner had the edge, got a good set, and gets Shen field position on the other side of the 50-yard line to start this football game as we get our first look at the Plainsman offense here tonight, led by quarterback Brendan Belot.
Starter last year. You see his numbers last week against Yolen. Big second half. He threw both those touchdown passes in the second half. He also had 57 yards rushing, and he had a touchdown rushing in that second quarter. They won that game 28-14.
Belot, one of the strongest arms in the section as well. If they let him uncork it, he can let it fly. With a man in motion. Belot to throw. Forced out of the pocket, on the run, tipped in the air, nearly intercepted, but it falls incomplete. It was tipped by Brian Grimes, and Grimes is a guy defensively, as they were targeting Singh there, Carson Singh. Grimes is a guy defensively that can be an impact player for Colonie.
No doubt, and you see the difference between Belot this year and Belot last year. Much more pocket passer, did not really move his feet that much last year. This year he's using it, but unfortunately for him, he locked in on his target, and Grimes almost made him pay for it.
Could have been disastrous, but instead 2nd down and 10 for the Plainsmen. Belot will work from the gun with 2 in the backfield this time. Give it to the deep man, Kieran Shanahan, bouncing off a blocker, rolling ahead to the 45-yard line. Shanahan bouncing off his own man, Kevin Faubert, the junior lineman, and plowing ahead for a gain of 3.
Gibson with a nice stop there in the open field tackling. Shanahan used the stiff arm to get away from one defender, wasn't able to get away, but he picks up 3, sets up a 3rd and 7.
And if there is a strength of this Shen team, if you ask the coaching staff and head coach Brian Clausen, it is their line, their offensive line, their defensive line. Not only they got some big boys, but they've got boys who have played a lot of football as well. Wyrock and company, Flowers as well. Let's see what they can do on 3rd and 7 here. Hard count, gets a jump. Did anybody from Shen move? Did Belot draw him off? I think he may have. A veteran move from the senior quarterback.
It looks like he got the freshman to come offside. I think that was Jason Rogers that came off.
The hard count, you could hear it from up here. Belot, a voice of a seasoned veteran under center.
And they're taking the Eagles playbook from last night, getting some first downs with the penalties.
Hey, whatever you can do, right? You go from 3rd and 7 to 3rd and 2. And now what probably was a passing situation could very well be a run for Shenendehowa with Shanahan in the backfield. They will throw it here. Belot rolling out. Time to throw, complete. Pass caught by Singh just inside the 30-yard line. Carson Singh with enough for the first down and then some for the Plainsmen.
Well, it's a design rollout, Chris, and basically Belot is locking in on Singh. He waits for Singh to come out of the break. It's a run-pass option. He has the option if he wants to go forward, but he decides, look, I'm going to wait for my guy to come out of his break. He does an exceptional job of winning that route. Christian Hubbard on the defense, not before a first down pickup of almost 12 yards.
12-yard gain indeed, puts it 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line for Belot and the Plainsman offense. Belot rolling to his left, throwing, complete. First down yardage, wrestled out of bounds is Josh Schwartzberg, and Schwartzberg will get Shen another first down.
And that's the diversity of this offense. They've gone into a 3-wide set. Now, a lot of times you look at Shen throughout the years, power-based offense, a lot of times 3 backs in the backfield. It's a departure. This is more Brian Clausen's background in terms of passing offense, but he also is adjusting his roster and his offense to his quarterback. He's got a mobile quarterback that can get it to the outside, and he doesn't have a lot of big running backs. I mean, Shanahan is 168 at tailback.
But an all-state caliber wrestler going to North Carolina State, so he knows all about using leverage and that body. They give it to Shanahan, bouncing off one inside the 10 goes Kieran Shanahan with a goal-to-go situation coming up. Let's get our look at this Shen offense, and those dudes up front do damage.
Yeah, that left side with Blowers and Wyrock veteran group. Underwood is a junior, one of the 2 juniors on the offensive line. Shanahan, Cook, Dissonell, Schwartzberg, and Altenberger, outstanding tight end. Senior, got some experience, valuable experience last year as that junior. Of course, Brendan Belot gets his offense inside the 10. They'll be at about the 7-yard line on a Shanahan 12-yard pickup.
Altenberger is a big boy. Let's see if they target his 6'5" frame at tight end in the red zone here from the 7-yard line. Goal to go. Belot rolling out to throw. Pressure up the middle, and they get to him. Belot was trying to dance away from one man, but he couldn't get away. Jared Rossi, the sack for the Garnet Raiders.
Good. Just one-on-one swim move, gets to the quarterback and gets a big sack for the Garnet Raiders. You see the defense. Rossi, Francis, Roberts, and Kemp at the linebacker positions. Gibson, Hubbard, Grimes, and Stark in the secondary for the Garnet Raiders, and a big loss there.
Loss of 7. They go from 1st and goal from the 7 to 2nd and goal from the 14. And before Belot can set up, flags and a false start, likely coming against the Plainsmen.
Dead ball, false start.
Still very early in the football game, and not that Shen had a lot of problems last week with Guilderland, but when you talk to them, they weren't thrilled with the way they played. They won the football game, and they won 28-14, and, you know, a win is a win, and you want to win that season opener, but they felt like there were things they needed to get better at, and obviously a penalty there.
And Brendan Belot said penalties. We were way too penalized in that game.
So back him up again, and they'll go to the ground with Shanahan right up the middle. Now kicking to the right side. Back to the 10-yard line goes Kieran Shanahan, who wastes no time getting a huge chunk of yardage back on second down.
Well, I like what Coach Clausen said about Shanahan. He says, look, he's 168, and he's obviously an outstanding wrestler. He plays like he's 20 pounds bigger. And you're going to see a nice little shimmy move there to break a tackle and get an extra 5 yards. And Grimes and company get their Rodgers also on the stop. But an extra 5 yards, a little depth footwork from the senior.
Goal to go from the 10-yard line now. 3rd and goal from the 10 for Shenendehowa. Fake it. Belot to throw to the end zone. Too tall for his intended target. Looking for Singh. It falls incomplete. Hubbard on coverage for the Garnet Raiders.
Excellent coverage by Hubbard. He did not give any space. Look, he's right there, and he puts his hands up and he says, look, you're the receiver. You're going to go up for the good, get the football. Singh, I'm going to play you. I'm going to play off your hands and your eyes when you make that move to try to get the football, and he did just that. And Carly will now set up for that field goal opportunity.
So 4th and goal from the 10, so you're looking at a 27-yard field goal attempt for Mitch Carly, who comes on looking for the first points of the night for Shenendehowa. Carly can boot it. Snap is good. Hold is good. Kick is true. Shenendehowa, first drive of the game, finishes with points. A 3-0 lead for the Plainsmen on the Carly 27-yard field goal.
Well, it looked like it was going to be maybe more substantial in terms of the drive. They get inside, 1st and goal, a couple of penalties push them back. 3rd down incompletion. They'll settle for the 27-yard field goal and first drive of the night and the first score of the night for the Plainsmen.
So Shen starts the game with points, but if you're Eric Rouleau and the rest of the rest of the Colonie coaching staff and the guys on the sideline, listen, you're talking about giving yourselves a chance, not digging an early hole. Field goal is certainly comebackable, not a big deal.
That's Greg Barrup, the defensive coordinator, talking with a couple of his personnel, veteran coach. And he's got to feel like that unit, and he's trying to pump a couple of those guys up because, look, it could have been worse. Shen got it 1st and goal, and it could have very easily been 7 points. Not the best scenario, giving up 3, but it's a much better scenario than the alternative, maybe giving up 7.
So Carly will do the kicking off from the 40-yard line for Shen. Again, 3 guys back with Hubbard in the middle of the field for Colonie. Carly puts a boot to it. This one will get to Hubbard and over his head and over the goal line for another touchback. So no returns yet for the Colonie special teams, and this will be our second look at Shea Young and the Garnet Raiders offense. And we talked about Young, fighting his own body to get on the football field. 2016 broken arm, 2017 broken collarbone, and for Colonie last year, they were a playoff team. They got into the postseason. I know they lost to Shen in the first round, but to their credit, Eric Rouleau said, we went through 3 quarterbacks last year.
Eddie Soto was their 3rd quarterback. They went into week 5 against Shaker. They were 4-0. They had a great start considering they were on 3 quarterbacks. Shaker took them down pretty easily. The season didn't quite end the way they wanted it to, but it could have been a lot worse.
Young to throw, steps up in the pocket, pressure from the backside, looking long over the shoulder and out of bounds. Looking for Josiah Kemp. We told you they wanted to try to find a way to get the football in his hands. They do love what he does defensively as well, but they took a long shot.
He's a tremendous athlete, outstanding track man, and somebody that if they can get him out in space, they feel like, look, he can go up and get it. I've seen him make some of the best catches in Section 2 in the last 2 years, and we're going to penalty flag back near the line of scrimmage. Looks like it's going against Colonie.
Yeah, it must have been a hold that we didn't see. I'm assuming that's what the call was, but the flag kind of escaped us there as they took their crack downfield. It fell incomplete looking for Kemp, and Kemp, not a bad target to be targeting down the side. We talked about him being a track guy, all a 6'3", 6'4". So they took their shot, falls incomplete, but the hold call is going to back him up another 10. So now all of a sudden, Colonie's backed up inside the 10-yard line here.
Repeat first down.
Spot foul, so obviously it's the pass rush coming up the middle, so you lose 10 yards from there, and that's why it's so far back.
Young dropping back to throw again with pressure coming. Young trying to escape, rolls out, does a good job, and gets the pass too low. Tried to get it to a sliding receiver in Brian Grimes, but he couldn't get his hands underneath the football, incomplete.
Well, Andy Wyrock's thinking, I'm finally coming from the backside. I'm going to get a sack. I'm going to get a safety for our team, and the athleticism and the good pocket sense from Young, realizing, look, I've got peril coming my way in the backside. I've got to get away, uses his legs, and even though they don't get the completion, it could have been much, much worse.
I'm going to tell you, Brian Clausen's happy with that, because one thing he said to me right before I came upstairs, I said, what do you guys need to do? He said, we got to get pressure on him. We got to get pressure on Young. We've got to get to him, but also try to contain him in the pocket. I know he got away there, but they got their pressure. Young puts a man in motion, now gives it off to Gibson with Wyrock in pursuit from behind, stays with the play. Gibson still on his feet and spinning close to the 15-yard line, gain of 5, maybe 6 for Gibson. That comes on 2nd and 20, so now 3rd and very long.
Gibson's going, Gibson. Man, Wyrock, he's coming from the backside. He's the right end. You see him, and he's just coming down on him. Even though he doesn't make the tackle, it held him up, and then the pursuit gets there. And they need a big play here, otherwise it's going to be another very quick offensive series for the Garnet Raiders.
3rd and very long. They need to get to the 30-yard line for a first down. Young to throw. Pressure on the edges. Time to throw in the pocket. Looking long for Hubbard, and it's incomplete. Off the fingertips of Christian Hubbard, who had found a seam behind the defense.
It's one of those situations, Chris, when the ball goes up in the air. I see this so many times with high school receivers. Keep running. Don't put your hands out, because if he runs another 2 strides, he catches that ball. He's got his hands out in front of him. That slows you down when you do that. And I think he's got to realize that I got to make that catch, even though I didn't maybe have the best opportunity there. Got to make that. You got to stretch out and sell out for that football.
So Hubbard goes from running 50 yards on a post route to dropping back to have to kick this thing away. So you've got 2 back in Brenner and Divante Terrelong. It'll be Brenner from the 45, bouncing off his own man to the 40, trying to fight to get to the 35-yard line, but Zach Brenner with the return for Shenendehowa, and the Plainsman offense in really good shape.
They got to communicate a little bit better. That could have been very disastrous. And Terrelong saying, look, I called for that, and you took it away from me. And it's fortunate that there wasn't any kind of problem. But boy, if that happens again, you could have a problem.
On the sidelines is Marissa Jacks with us all night. MJ, what do you got?
Well, Chris, let me tell you, Gabe Young, who's actually a coach on Colonie, the father of Shay, went crazy after that play. He understood that Colonie missed a huge opportunity there. That would have been a touchdown if those two connected. We're going to have much more on Gabe Young and Shay and their relationship coming up later on, but Coach Young not happy about that missed opportunity. Waddy?
Coach not happy. I'm sure the quarterback not happy. Christian Hubbard not happy. You don't get a lot of cracks like that. Let's see if it winds up costing him on the backside of this drive. They go to Shanahan on first down, fighting to get a yard is Kieran Shanahan.
Yeah, as long as it's positive. I mean, it's certainly a situation that Young had the time. He aired it out. He put the ball where it needed to be, and you're upset about it, but you got to put that behind you and get another crack at it. But hopefully from your defensive perspective, you get the football back without giving up more points.
2nd down 9 for the Plainsmen, who start this drive well over the midfield line. Belot to throw, far side, pass complete. Schwartzberg breaks out of a tackle, then wrapped up and taken down by the man who missed him the first time. That was Donald Francis, the sophomore, but not before Schwartzberg has a first down.
There's going to be a lot of those kind of routes tonight. If you haven't seen Shen play with Belot as the quarterback, it's going to be a lot of those quick reads, get the ball out of your hands, let your receivers make some plays in space. Schwartzberg does a nice job, and you see there backside pursuit after the missed tackle gets him down, but not before a first down pickup.
Gain of 11, and that will be Shenendehowa at the 25-yard line. Belot throwing again, far side again. Altenberger for the first time tonight. Gain of 4, perhaps 5. Shoved out of bounds is the tight end.
85's meet there on the tackle as Kemp takes out Altenberger. That is 6'5", 245, pretty athletic, a guy who plays basketball for the Plainsmen as well. And he was an outstanding target for them last year and a big safety valve this year.
Belot gives it to Shanahan. Shanahan bouncing off a couple, still on his feet at the 10, and down goes Kieran Shanahan. The only thing that saved that was a tackle for Colonie by number 5, and that was Logan Stark. Otherwise, Shanahan's going to the house after a gain of 12.
Yeah, Logan Stark did save the day. It looked like Shanahan made a couple of great moves there, bounces off Grimes, and then right there at the end, Stark gets him down before he accelerates away.
Shen goes no huddle, fast huddle, and they're back to the line already. 1st and goal. Belot throwing at the goal line. Down is Dissonell at about the 1. Quick hitter to Brendan Dissonell.
That's the 5th different receiver he's already thrown the football to. Dissanel Sr., he gets involved. You see a couple of guys, Schwartzberg and him in the pattern. And again, Belot's getting the ball out quickly. The pass rush isn't getting there. These are quick design, quick hitters, 3- and 5-yard routes, and they've been very, very effective because not only is Belot been accurate, but they're missing tackles in the open field.
They're at the 1-yard line. Let's see if it's Shanahan time with a man in there to block for him at the fullback position. And Kyle Greger. Shanahan follows the left side of the line and waltzes into the end zone for the touchdown. Shen, the 9-0 lead.
That short side toss sweep is something that they love to do. It's been in their playbook since Brett Stewart ran this program before Brian Clausen took over. And Shanahan, the senior, gets into the end zone. His second rushing touchdown of the season. He had one last week against Gilliland. First touchdown of the night for the Plainsmen. Carleon to kick the extra point.
Short one from a yard out goes for Shanahan, who had 20 carries, 110 yards, and a touchdown last week. Finds the end zone here tonight as Carly boots that one up and boots it through. And Shen has a 10-0 lead with an even 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
Well, the scenario that Colonie did not want to put themselves into is exactly how it's played out. Colonie didn't do anything on their first couple of drives, including missing that third down long pass play that could have been potentially a big play, at the very least a first down, maybe potentially a touchdown. Instead, Shen gets the short field after the punt. They go down the field quickly with a couple of nice selected passing plays to different guys, and then Kieran Shanahan, the senior, caps it off with a 1-yard touchdown run.
Perfect start for the Plainsmen. 2 drives, 2 scores, field goal, touchdown. Shanahan following that left side of the line, and we talked about how good they are with Wyrock and Blowers. They're just not only some big dudes down there, but big dudes who've been playing a lot of football for 3 years for the Plainsmen, so you might as well follow them. Carly will kick this one off. Hubbard in the middle of the field, defers. And here come the Garnet Raiders from the 10. Stutter step and not going much further. Jacob Gonzalez. It looked like Gonzalez was waiting for Hubbard and vice versa. Marissa on the sidelines.
Hey, Chris, we just saw Kieran and Shanahan take that one, and you guys alluded to it earlier, just the toughness of his kid. You talk about yards after contact. He has a whole bunch of them. He's going to North Carolina State on a wrestling scholarship, but another thing people don't know, he's actually a brown belt in judo. His dad, Bill Shanahan, a 6th degree black belt in judo. He was at the Olympic trials twice. It runs in the family, and he says, yeah, he gets a lot of his toughness from his father. Chris?
Yeah, don't mess with your old dad. Listen, I'm not going to pretend I know how many degrees there are in judo, but 6 sounds impressive. I defer. Whatever you say, boss man, I'm with you.
I thought you said you wanted a piece of him.
I'm good. Pitch back, Gibson strung out now, trying to cut in. Bounces off a couple tackles. He's still on his feet. Gibson down the middle. Can they catch him from behind? Midfield goes Gibson, shoved out of bounds, and we need to see that again because Marcus Gibson looked like he was dead to rights in the backfield.
A lot of times when you see a runner, I don't care what level of football, you see a guy stumbling, sometimes the defense gives up because they think he's going to go down. He looks like he's going down. See the toss sweep, the pursuit gets there, he cuts back. Now watch, right there, he looks like he's going down, and a couple guys sort of get caught up, and before you know it, he's away, and the angle is not there. Davis is able to take him out of bounds, but a big first down and a big morale boost, if you will, for the Garnet Raiders.
44-yard gain on the heels of a touchdown drive. That is just what Colonie needed. Before they can run that play, flags fly, and a false start coming up against Colonie. They were going to Donald Francis because Gibson needed a blow, but I'll tell you what, you had 2 guys from Shen take each other onto the play. It was Altenberger and McNamara.
False start.
But you see, as he started to fall forward, you saw a couple of guys kind of stand up and kind of slow down because they think, oh, he's going to fall down because you can see his momentum's going forward. But he did a nice job of resurrecting his body and getting the lean going back forward and kept his balance going forward and picks up big yardage, 44 yards, to get him into Shen territory for the first time tonight.
44 yards was all that and more that they've had in this game. Prior to that run, they'd had 7 yards of total offense, did the Raiders. They go to the ground again, wrapped up at the line of scrimmage, and not going very far was Donald Francis. You had Andy Wyrock, 76, in on the tackle.
Well, this is an offense. They want to be able to get to the edges. They don't run that much. They don't have a lot of power. They're not going to be coming downhill and hitting the A gap with multiple guys. This is an offense that wants to get to the edge. They want to use their speed. They want to be able to leverage block to the outside and get to the outside. You saw one big play that they were able to do that. That one not as successful, and it sets up a 2nd and 14.
2nd and long. They're backed up to midfield now after the 44-yard gainer. Nothing cooking for Colonie. Let's see if they got something here. Young to throw with pressure coming on the edges. He steps up and it is complete to Grimes. As expected, one of the favorite and preferred targets of the evening is Brian Grimes.
Well, that's one of those pass plays. You just want to be able to get the ball out, negate that pass rush that was coming in on him from the outside. JT Sturl was coming from the outside, and Young gets it out. Minimal pickup, about 4 yards, sets up a 3rd and 10.
Minute 15 to go in the first quarter. Garnet Raiders looking for their first points of the night. This is their best drive of the night so far. Pressure coming, blitz coming. Young gets away from it, steps up on the left side, incomplete. In and out of the hands of his intended receiver, who's looking for Logan Stark, and Stark couldn't hang on.
And Young did the right thing. He used his footwork to avoid the pass pressure, and then instead of running it, he sees, look, I got Stark out in front. He's got his man beat, and that's 1st down. That's two big drops.
There is a flag on the play, so let's see what the flag is, if this gives Colonie new life or not.
There's no flag on the play.
Never mind. The flag you see never happened.
It was an Emily Latella.
This never happened.
Never mind.
So now you go 4th down and no penalty, so you don't have to back him up. But Eric Rouleau and company not appearing.
No, they got the offense out on the field.
Yeah, I guess they're going to leave Young and the offense out there. Hubbard is the punter. I saw him out there as well. So you're looking at 4th and 10 from the 45-yard line, and they're leaving him out there. So the Colonie offense stays in the field. First big play, first gamble of the night for Rouleau and the Raiders. Young, time to throw deep over the middle for Hubbard. He goes up.
He's got it.
And
he's got it.
Who's got it?
He's got it.
Wow. Hubbard comes away with it in a battle with Brenner. And it's a 1st down.
Now, Sebring's saying, I have it. But I think when he went down, I think that there was simultaneous possession, but I think Hubbard was the one that had the football first. And then they kind of pull it out on away from him after he's down. See, he's got the ball. They pulled it away after he went down. That is an exceptional throw. 1-on-2. You got to put that ball in a position where only your receiver can get the football. He put it high, and Hubbard makes a great play. 25-yard gain. It was Jared Sebring who was the closest defender battling for the interception. They came down as that one is swatted down as Altenberger gets his big mitts up there and knocks that one down. But really the coverage was between Christian Hubbard, the receiver, Jaden Sebring, the defensive back. You had Brenner in on the play, and it was nearly the old Seahawks-Packers simultaneous possession. It's one of those situations where, look, the quarterback knows. He's throwing in a 1-on-2. He knows that there's going to be a safety there to help out. But he has to put the ball in a position where only Hubbard can get the football, and he did just that. He put it high up there. Hubbard was able to win the jump ball. Obviously, they fought for it when they got to the turf, and the officials deemed that when he went down by the contact, he had possession.
38 seconds and change to go here in the first quarter, and the Raiders trying to strike before the quarter ends. Young pitches it out to Gibson. Gibson looking for the edge. Gets a side block from Hubbard. Fights to get down to the 10-yard line. Is Gibson after the big gain that got him down there. Now gets another carry trying to get him in.
Well, not only can you use quick pass plays to sort of negate the pass rush, you can use quick running plays like that to negate the upfield push. And the little toss sweep there quickly out of the hands of Young to his running back Gibson. Picks up situation that sets up a 3rd and 5, going to be the last play of the first quarter.
Colonie in no hurry to try and run another play, so that is it for the first. Shenendehowa strikes with a field goal early, a touchdown midway through the first, but Colonie is driving to start the second quarter. 10-0 Shen after 1 here on Spectrum.
Seeking a third term as governor, Democrat Andrew Cuomo finds himself in a tough primary battle with insurgent outsider Cynthia Nixon. Can Cuomo fend off this latest challenge and win another nomination, or will Democratic voters decide it's time for a change? Count on Spectrum News for all the breaking news coming off the campaign trail. Look for interviews and analysis before you head to the primary polls on September 13th. The 2018 governor's race on Spectrum News, exclusively on Spectrum.
Is your credit score keeping you from driving the car you want? Leah can help. When other dealers can't get you approved, Leah can. Regardless of your credit history, Leah can. We deal directly with over 30 lenders, so we can get you approved with the lowest rates available when other dealers can't. Leah can. Get pre-approved in seconds at leahcredit.com and get the car you want today. For family, for safety, for the future. Leah Cars for life.
Leah. Boats by George is making a splash with savings. It's boating season, and now is the best time to save big on the Cobalt, Four Winds, or Marker One of your dreams. Browse the area's largest indoor showroom and let us help you find a boat that fits your lifestyle. Bow riders, cruisers, pontoons, ski boats, and more, all backed by an award-winning service department operating in a brand new state-of-the-art facility. Trust the dealer that invests in your boating satisfaction.
Boats by George, your winning team.
For generations to come.
Celebrating 36 years of service.
Della Honda of Glens Falls can help you save on your next Honda. Select from hundreds of affordable, fuel-efficient, and economical Hondas at Della Honda of Glens Falls. Check out the award-winning 2018 Honda Accord, 2018 Honda CR-V, and 2018 Honda Civic. And if we don't have what you're looking for, we'll get it. Check out our reviews and visit DellaHonda.com or stop by today.
Della Drive.
A look at the stats after one. Fairly even, and Colonie currently driving in what has already been a 79-yard drive. They've got hit a couple big ones in this drive, a 44-yard gain, a 25-yard gain, and looking to end this drive with points. That would be huge after finding themselves down 10-0. By the way, packed house here tonight. Junior Plainsman night here is Shenendehowa. They had the young ones on the field welcoming the varsity Plainsmen, and everybody in Clifton Park. This is where you want to be tonight.
It's kind of funny because you see those young kids greeting them and bringing them hand slaps as they come on the field. The Shen players that are on the field were the guys doing that.
Yes, they were.
2011, 2014, when those last two championship teams came on the field.
So to start the second quarter, it'll be third down for Colonie, 3rd and 5, with Young working from the shotgun and looking for points on this drive, which would be huge. With time to throw, Young to the near side of the end zone, and it is incomplete. Trying to hook up with
Kemp was out of bounds.
Kemp
made the reception.
Couldn't get the feet in.
That was a poised throw from Young. He waits for and he just had his
great call.
His left foot was just on the line.
Great call.
Great concentration by Kemp, but he didn't line his feet up before making that play.
So you're looking at 4th and 5 now for Colonie, and Hubbard is the kicker for the Garnet Raiders, and they say he's got 40-yard range.
Well,
so
they're bringing on the field goal personnel, but it looks like they're going to now call timeout.
And think about it here on 4th and 5. You're looking at 4th and 5 for the 10-yard line.
It's 27-yard.
Yep,
Carly made that earlier.
Yep, if you got to get to the 5-yard line to keep the drive going, or take the points if you feel like Hubbard can knock it through and get your first points of the game.
Well, it's an interesting scenario for Coach Rallo and his team. Do you gamble and try to get the first down and get within 3 potentially, or do you take the points and get within 1 possession?
A reminder to wake up with Spectrum News every weekday at 7 a.m. Join our team for Your Morning Albany. Julie Chapman, Dan Bazil, and meteorologist Heather Morrison get you ready for the day in a 1-hour show talking local news and the stories that matter to you in the capital region. We'll get you the up-to-the-minute weather and traffic that you need as you walk out the door. It's Your Morning Albany starting at 7 a.m. every weekday on Spectrum News. We could get Marissa on a bed at 7 a.m. Maybe we'll get her to be a part of the show, but I'm not sure if that's possible. So Hubbard on to try the field goal, which will be a 27-yarder, which is the distance that Carly hit for Shen earlier in the game. High snap, not going to be there. Hubbard's going to have to make it happen. He tucks it and runs, knocked out of bounds, and a busted play and a late flag. Hold on there, everybody. Late flag coming down as Hubbard wasn't going to be close to the first down, but we may not be done with this drive just yet.
They're calling it on Colonie. They're going to call it on Grimes at the end of the run. He did get hit out of bounds a little bit, but then he gave an extra shove. So it's going to go 15 yards against Colonie, though Colonie will give up the possession after the bobbled snap on the field goal attempt, and Shen will get 15 yards extra to start their next series.
So not only do the Plainsmen avoid points on the board, they also get the football back, and then the bonus 15 yards to get them a little bit more breathing room.
Against the white, 15-yard penalty, first down and 10.
Well, you think about two plays in this football game, Chris. The third down incompletion, where it could have been a big one, and you see there the snap, and Hubbard loses it. He doesn't really have anywhere to go. He does get sort of hit out of bounds there, but then he gives an extra shove and an extra shot there. Yep. That's what's got called.
Yep, and a shot to the face as
well.
Yeah,
no doubt it was the right call on that. But the drop pass and now the drop on the potential field goal, you could be within possession. Maybe you would have potentially have the lead, and now in essence you're down 10. And you put this offense back on the field with decent field position after the penalty.
So let's see what Belot and company do here on first down. On the ground with Shanahan charging in and blowing that play up. That's the second time Jarrett Rossi has been in the backfield.
Well, that was a big one because I'll tell you what, the left side of that line had a big cavernous hole that they had opened up for Shanahan. If he gets away from that initial ankle tackle, he might have been off to a very substantial gain.
We've talked about that Shen line on the left side specifically with Wyrock and Blowers and 3-year starters. Not only did they protect the blind side of their quarterback, Mr. Belot, but they open up holes for the running game as well. Fake the handoff. Belot, time to throw. Now dancing, tucking, and running goes Belot down the near sideline. Cuts it back in, and Belot gets hammered by Hubbard. And Christian Hubbard lined him up, but Belot lets you know, I'm all right. I got my
I took a big
first down yardage.
But here's the difference. That is something that he would never have thought about doing last year. Maybe at the end of the season, but that was not in his arsenal. And you see that Blauer's got a good outside seal. Belot picks up the first down, and he cuts it back, and then he gets, it was a nice shot. And Hubbard did a great job. He lowered his shoulder and unloaded on him. But Belot is tougher. I mean, he's 160, but he's a tough kid, and he is not afraid to put his helmet in there. And they'll add on. They're going to call a penalty at the end. I think they're calling a penalty on the hit.
100% honest, I didn't see the flag. Let's get the call.
Yep.
Personal foul, targeting.
Okay.
And they're going to say Hubbard because he's in the air and he unloaded on him. It's a pretty good shot, but it just depends on the interpretation. Do you think he was going for his head?
Well, if you've been watching the start of the college football season and obviously the preseason of the NFL and what will be the season openers this weekend, targeting has been the flavor of the month call, and we've got more flags down, another flag thrown. As we were getting ready to tell you about the latest flag.
Personal foul, number 1 white.
So Hubbard didn't like the penalty that he got called on him, and then he picked up another one because he apparently didn't agree with the call and let the officials know on it. So now he's given up basically 30 yards of penalties after the tackle.
33 yards for Shen after Belot did a good job scrambling to get first down yardage. He took a lick, but now freebies for the Plainsmen.
Hubbard's thinking he's making a big play, and he's, look, I got hit out of bounds late. They didn't call it, and then I get a shot. So he's basically picked up 3 penalties here in the last couple of minutes, and he's really hurt his team.
I was just going to say the officials just went over and told Colonie to back it up as well.
So warning against the white.
So a sideline warning against Eric Rouleau and company. Eric on the left of the screen right there without the headset, now walking back into the middle of the frame. And he's got to get his guys not only under control, but back in the football game.
Matt Tarullo over there as well,
Yep.
former Colony lineman and Syracuse lineman.
A good one at Syracuse in his day was Matt Tarullo. Belot hands it off. Now Dissanel with it. Will want to throw. Floating it over the middle. Caught by Schwartzberg for the touchdown. Wasn't exactly Philly special, but it works for the Plainsmen. 16 love.
Well, Dissanel is a baseball pitcher. He is an exceptional arm strength, and he admitted to me when I did my story today on Brendan Belot, he says, Brendan's got a better arm than I do even. But I'll tell you what, when he faded back there, every indication was he was going to throw the ball to the outside and throw it back to the quarterback. But he did a nice job. He let the play develop, and you see Schwartzberg over the middle. He's wide open. And by the time that he gets taken down by Gibson, it's too late. Touchdown, and Shen firmly in control of this one.
16-0 with Carly's PAT attempt up and good. So with 10:40 to go in the first half, Shen has themselves a 17-0 lead. This is just what the Plainsmen wanted and the exact opposite for Rouleau and the Raiders.
Well, it really dissipated quickly here. Colony thought maybe they're going to get some points on a missed field goal opportunity. Colony gives up a couple of penalties after a hit on Belot as he scrambled away. Sets up Colony with pristine field position. Then they go to their bag of tricks. Dissanel to Schwartzberg. Second touchdown on offense tonight for the Plainsmen. And you see the recipient, the senior receiver, Josh Schwartzberg, and he gets into the end zone from Brendan Dissanel.
Telling the stories. I just had to run under it, man. I was running. It was there. 23-yard pitch and catch for the touchdown from the wide receiver to the wide receiver, and Schwartzberg makes it 17-0 in favor of the home team. Mitch Carly back to do the kicking again for the Plainsmen. To the 5-yard line. Hubbard fields it. Middle of the field, Christian Hubbard still on his feet, taken down at about the 25-yard line. And this, now the most important drive of the game so far for the Colony Garnet Raiders.
As Coach Rouleau told you and told me, is look, we haven't had much success coming here. They put themselves in a very perilous position, down 17-0 early here in the second quarter. They had opportunities to maybe get a couple of scores in their previous two series. The last series, of course, ended with the high snap on the field goal attempt, the potential field goal attempt. Now you got to get your offense, you got to keep your defense off the field, you got to pick up some first downs, and you got to get some continuity going here with your offense.
So Young will work from the shotgun again. Takes the snap, looks to throw, near side, got a pass caught. Out of bounds at the 30-yard line, and wrapped up and taken out of bounds is Logan Stark. Stark with a catch there, a little redemption for him. He had a drop earlier in the game.
Well, you can see Young's ability. When he has time, I mean, he makes some really solid throws. He puts the ball where he needs to, makes a right decision there to Stark. Stark pulls this one in. I'm sure he feels good after dropping the last opportunity he got, and he gets taken out of bounds. But not before a nice solid pickup, 7 yards.
They wanted to see more of Young in the pocket, too. They felt like, listen, we know he can drop back and throw. And as you've mentioned, he hasn't played a lot of varsity games, but they want him to be the quarterback. They don't want him to have to make things happen with his legs. He has to there to keep the play alive. Throws it incomplete, looking on the side for Josiah Kemp. But listen, they want him to be able to be the quarterback, let somebody else be the running back, and use that committee of running backs, and let him do some work with his arm back there.
Well, he tried to there, but Wyrock from the backside pursuit again. He's running all the way across the field, and Young is smart enough to pick him up right away. And if I stay in the pocket, I'm going to get waylaid. He gets out of harm's way, but unable to complete the pass there to Kemp, and sets up a 3rd and 4 situation.
3rd and 4 for the Raiders. Need a first down here. They got to get something cooking here. Deep shot for Young, straight over the middle and incomplete. Really had two guys in the neighborhood. Couldn't hook up with Grimes or Hubbard. Hubbard the closer of the two. And another punting situation for Colonie. Took a big crack there on 3rd and 4. Didn't need the home run, but they took the shot.
They took their shot, and look, they want to be able to get some one-on-one isolations. They feel like their receivers can win the battles. We saw 1-on-2 on a fourth down that they were able to do that, and now Hubbard will line up for a punt, and Shen has an opportunity to get another score.
Low snap and a quick kick by Hubbard. This will bounce at the 44-yard line and then hop around, and Shen is going to field it. I thought everybody was going to get away from it, but one of the up men came back into the play to scoop that football up, which may not always be said design, but Brendan Dissenell goes and grabs it. And
well, I think what Brendan was seeing is saying, look, these guys are peeling off. They think that nobody's going to touch it, so they think it's over with. So, hey, maybe I can catch them off guard. If I can get through the first wave, I may be able to get down the sideline. And as long as you can secure the ball, it's not a bad attempt.
A reminder that the rights to this broadcast have been granted by Section 2 of the New York State Public High School Athletic Association. Any rebroadcast of this program without the written consent of Spectrum News and Section 2 is strictly prohibited. This is a production of Charter Communications. Snap to B-Lot, handed off. Shanahan trying to dance away from trouble, but credit to the defensive line for Colonie. They blew that one up. 61, Tyvon Roberts and Jared Rossi in there again.
Good job submarining underneath. Wyrock tried to get the block, and he did not have the leverage to be able to make the stop there. And Roberts did a nice job, the senior, getting underneath him. And Shanahan had nowhere to go because he basically got hit as he took the handoff.
Loss of 1, so 2nd and 11. Ball at the 36-yard line. Man in motion, snap to B-Lock. Gives it to the man who comes back. That's Beach. Beach gets a carry on the end around. Heads for the right side and down the sideline. Beach still on his feet. Sprinting for the goal line. Hammered out of bounds at the 5. Helmets come off over there. Hubbard gets the big hit. Takes out Billy Beach, who gets the big gain, and Beach
he got his wind knocked out of him. And Billy Beach is an outstanding lacrosse player. He got down the sideline. He took a pretty big hit at the end of that and got the wind knocked out of him. You see there, the whole right side just caved in. Good blocking at the point of attack. He gets down the sideline. You see Hubbard coming across the field, and right at the same time, Hubbard and Gibson hit him at the same time, high and low. Sort of
60-yard gain, by the way, for Beach, James.
Yeah, Beach, nice run there. And you see good pursuit. They didn't give up on the play. And you see high-low almost at the same time. And that's where I think Beach lost his breath because he kind of came down sideways.
Marcus Gibson lost his helmet, 22 for Colonie. Beach going to get walked back over the sideline, but let's hope he's okay. That was a huge play for Shen, a 60-yarder.
Yeah, he wants to stay on the field, but unfortunately when you have an injury like that, you got to come off for at least one, and he sets him up 1st and goal.
Not a bad stat line for your night. 1 carry, 60 yards, by the way, for Billy Beach.
Yeah, you can do some damage with that. If you have a 60-yard average, you do it pretty well.
So on the injury, Brian Clausen out to chat things up with his team, who now have 1st and goal to go from the 5-yard line after the big one from Beach. Already with a 17-0 lead, and Colonie going to use a timeout. Their second one. Eric Rouleau knows the deal. It's a pretty big spot in the football game. Already down 17-0 and probably in trouble.
Yeah, they actually had 10 people on the field. 11 came on, but I don't think he had the instructions of what they wanted to do. So better to burn the timeout than give up an easy touchdown.
Well, make sure you're with us as soon as we're done here on Spectrum News. Don't go anywhere at 11 o'clock. It's week 2 of 1st and Goal. Marissa Jackson, Jesse McWilliam, the whole Spectrum News team take you all over the Capital Region for highlights of all the big games all around Section 2 football. Tonight, live, 11 o'clock, 1st and Goal. They used to have a pretty handsome guy that hosted that show, but they still power on. It's still a pretty good TV program.
The short guy that used to. Oh, you mean you?
There's been a host of them. I know. One comes to mind.
Yeah, those nights are. I tell you what, those lights they just put in. Did the scrimmage here with inter-squad scrimmage the first time. It's like, wow. Some of the same officials that were working that night were here for this, and they're here for this game tonight. Very well. I mean, there's really no bad spots. Good, and they're really well placed. Excellent job.
Beautiful, beautiful facility here that the Plainsmen have a pretty nice home field advantage for, because they get the student section to come out for Neon Night, by the way.
They got some of your clothes.
Yeah, they did. They raided my 1980s fashion right there. So on to the timeout. Colonie knows the deal. They really desperately need to stop here. I mean, 17-0, not insurmountable, but they've really only had two big plays.
A stop would be good, Chris, but I'll tell you what, a turnover would be even better.
Without question. At the 5-yard line, and a touchdown for Shen. And I know there's still a lot of time left, but they would be feeling pretty good about their chances here tonight. Let's see what Belot and the guys do here. First and goal from the 5. Shanahan, the deep man. Pitch it back to Kieran Shanahan. Right up the middle, untouched. 66 Blowers was looking for somebody to block as well, and those two guys just waltz into the end zone.
Well, that toss sweep, that short side toss sweep again. It's quick, and there's just nobody there. I mean, the A-gap just cavered away.
They could have pitched it to Blowers and he'd have scored because, I mean, 66 came off the left side. And, I mean, he was just walking, looking for a guy in a white jersey, and there was nobody there. 23 Love, PAT is up and good. 24-0 with 8:30 to go in the first half.
Not only did Blowers not have anybody to block, Kyle Gregor, the fullback, he's looking for somebody. He doesn't have anybody to block. I mean, look at this. I mean, they just blew him out right at I mean, there's just nobody there. They obviously were thinking they were going to go to the outside, but you see both ends. You see the defensive end for each team. They kind of cave in, and you see the outside. You see the safety and the DB on the left side also cave in. There's just nobody in the middle. They were thinking they were going to get an outside play, and they didn't. They got him play right up the middle, and Shanahan, his second rushing touchdown, third of the season. Very short drive, a 3 plays, 63 yards, 4-yard touchdown.
Yeah, it took no time to go 63 yards, less than a minute in the second touchdown of the game for Kieran Shanahan, the North Carolina State-bound wrestler. Found the end zone a couple times tonight.
Yeah, Section 2 is going to have quite the contingent of North Carolina State wrestlers. Tyler Barnes, Cook. Cook going down there as well from Boston Spa this year, and Shanahan next year.
Carly puts a boot to it. Hubbard from the 3. Wrapped up and taken down at the 20-yard line. Jaden Sebring in on the tackle for Shen. 24-0 with 8:22 to go in the second. Marissa, what do you see?
Well, Chris, obviously the offensive line getting a whole lot of praise right now for Shenendehowa. They are very good. They're big. You guys talked about them earlier, but coming off the field, the coaches went over to all of those guys, giving them hugs, giving them high fives, because really they have been the difference in this game right now. Chris?
Yeah, those guys are getting their money's worth. And listen, if Shen's going to be successful this year, and we said in the first game, if this whole AA is contingent on Shen and Shaker being at the top, for Shen, it's going to be those guys up front, the O-line and the D-line. Quick handoff and going nowhere as Young put it in the belly of Donald Francis, and Francis swallowed up by that line, including Andy Wyrock.
He met him, basically. He said, look, I can definitely chase down Young from behind on the pass rush, but I'm not going to negate my abilities to stop the run as well. And veteran, 3-year guy, and Coach McQuaid, Mark McQuaid, who works with the linemen, he's been very, very pleased with those two senior captains, and Blowers and Wyrock, and what they've been able to do not only in terms of their production, but helping the younger guys get up to speed.
Second down, 11 for Colonie. Young looking to throw, batted up in the air and knocked down. Batted down for Eli Browns for Shenendehowa.
Coming in, got a clean release there. He got his left hand up and knocks it down.
Sophomore getting some run here as Bruns, and that brings up 3rd and 11.
Well, the triage and Bruns, both sophomores getting plenty of playing time. A rarity at Shen. A lot of AA programs don't usually have sophomores. Shen rarely ever has sophomores.
No, you're on that side. You're down.
There's Young to throw, near side, floating it long, down the sideline. Josiah goes up. Did he get a foot in?
He got it.
Yes, he did. Nice catch by Kemp as Josiah Kemp runs underneath it
It's a great adjustment to the football, Chris. I mean, the ball was thrown over the wrong shoulder. He's thinking the ball is coming inside. And you see here, Young gets rid of it. He gets it over the top. And you see there, just made a great adjustment to the football. Yep, and he did. He got his hand in. He had control of the football. That's a catch.
Okay, so they'll give Kemp that one, 37 yards out to the 47-yard line as Kemp gets involved in the offense on the big gainer. Young again. Far side. Hubbard goes up and can't make the play. Dissanel in coverage. Incomplete.
That one was thrown out in front, and Hubbard did it. You know, he's trying to high point and he's trying to get his hands up, and then that's a situation, again, I think if he runs another stride and then jumps, I think he has a better chance. He's already going airborne. The ball's still up in the air. I think he could get another step in front and make that catch a little bit easier on himself. Dissanel on the coverage there for Shen.
You know, tough part too is Young didn't have a great day throwing the football last weekend or last Friday, and 24-0. You can't abandon the run, you know that, but more often than not, you know he's got to drop back and try to sling it. He will here, and incomplete. Looking for Grimes, left it short.
Well, they were waiting for Grimes. They had him bracketed 4 players in that area. They knew that pass was coming, and it sets up 3rd and 10. You see there, dad giving instructions to son.
You mentioned having multiple bodies around Kemp when he made the first down catch over here for 37. That was one-on-one coverage, and that wasn't something that Dad Young or Coach Rulo or anybody at Colonie thought they were going to get. They thought they were going to get double coverage pretty much most of the night on Josiah Kemp. Young to throw again, lots of pressure, setting up the screen and staying at home. Really one guy staying at home for Shen was Kyle McGregor. All the pass rush had brought all the green jerseys up. McGregor sniffs out the screen.
Well, you have one guy that stays at home, and conceptually it was a pretty good play call by Colonie. They got a lot of the look that they wanted, but unfortunately one guy submarines and kind of blows up a play that potentially could have been a big one. Instead, it winds up being a loss in a 4th and 14 situation, and Colonie forced the punt.
Hubbard back to punt again. And Hubbard's off to the races. Snap wasn't great, but Hubbard's going to get first down out of this. Over the 35, out of bounds goes Christian Hubbard. As that was a bad snap high, I think Hubbard took it on his own to just take off and go.
And you know the reason why he realized, look, the snap was bad. He realized there's somebody coming up there on his left, and he says, look, there's no outside contained there. They went down, the gunners went down, there was no pursuit there, and by the time they get to him, he gets to the 30-yard line. That's an exceptional decision there on a broken play by Hubbard.
So Christian Hubbard, the junior running back, who was also the kicker and the punter. And they had a busted field goal attempt early in the game, and not a great snap on that punt leads to one of their best offensive plays of the night with 6:32 to go. Colonie well over midfield inside the 35-yard line. Young to throw again. Far side Grimes looking for an end block from Hubbard. Got a little bit of help. That gets him over the 30, probably down to about the 28-yard line.
And talking with Brian Clausen, he's talking about week 1. He said, look, we made some mistakes. We didn't do the things maybe we wanted to. We would have liked to have had a more decisive victory over Yolan. The one aspect that he was pretty pleased with, he said, look, Yolan's got some skills, and we kept them scoreless in the first half, and for most of that way. And he feels like defensively maybe they don't have the notoriety that some of their offensive players have, but they've been pretty solid through 2 weeks.
2nd and 6 now for Colonie. Young to throw again. Here comes pressure. Gets rid of it quickly. Intercepted. Picked off. Terrelong down the sideline. Only the quarterback to beat. And Davante Terrelong cuts it inside. Cuts it back and takes it to the house. Touchdown, Shen.
Tremendous break to the football by the sophomore who had a big week last week. Had a touchdown in the Gilliland game. Was a big part, and then they put him as a sophomore starter in the secondary. He makes a great break on the football. And unfortunately for Shen, one of their players that was involved in the collision as they went for the football is still down, and a nice little stutter step. He waits for the blocker to help him, and then he just reverses field back against Young. And the interception return for the touchdown. And I believe Sebring is the guy who's down for Shen.
74-yard pick six for Devontae Terrelong. And a slap on the back from Coach Brent Sturwald. Nobody more synonymous with this program than that man. And yes, there is a Shen player still down. It is Jaden Sebring, who was in the area of Terrelong and company when he made that pick, so it was hard to see exactly what happened to him, but he went down pretty much as soon as Terrelong made the pick and went the other way.
Yeah, there was three guys that converged on the football, and Coach Clausen giving the thumbs up that he says okay.
Cramp, yeah.
He's got a cramp.
There you go.
That's a much better scenario than potentially some kind of injury with the collision involved. And you see Coach Sturwald, who came in and dressed the team yesterday at practice prior to the game, and he does that every week.
The legend, one of the best New York State has ever had.
Rick Nysick getting his camera time.
Good news is it's only a cramp, so we'll get that stretched out, worked out, and Sebring will be back. Listen, we talked about it last week. Marissa had a sideline report on it. It was another week like that in the Capital Region. We had 3 days where it was heat index issues and 90s and 100s, and practices were either canceled, postponed, pushed, whatever it was. And, you know, hydrate, man. You got to hydrate.
Yep.
So on the heels of that, remember, we just had a 74-yard pick six and waiting on a PAT to make it 31-0. Mitch Carley puts a boot to it, puts it up, and puts it through. 31-0. Shen with the lead. And the sophomore, Devontae Terrelong.
Yeah, there was three guys basically breaking for the football. They almost beat each other to it. And Sebring, I thought maybe it was the collision that knocked him down, but it was actually the cramp as he went for the football. And again, that's just an exceptional play to the football by the sophomore. And then not only that, making something happen when he gets on the open field. You see here, Young's got the angle. He thinks he's going to line him up and maybe stop him. And then this little hesitation, he gets the block, and then he just reverses back and completes it. It's one thing to get the interception. Boy, you want to, when you have an opportunity to get daylight like that, you want to be able to get in the end zone. He does just that. Carley has the extra point, and it is all Shen here in week 2 at home.
Never want to shortchange him. It's 75 yards for Terrelong. He got the +1.
I mean, we want to make sure we got it right there.
Listen, I've never run 74 yards, and if I ran 75, I'd want to tell you I ran 75.
I think if you'd gone from 74, you would have lost your tie if you at 75.
Frankly, I would have dropped dead at the 72 mark. On a hop, kicked around the goal line, but not before a touchback. So Colonie's offense, and now flags on the far side. And I'm not so sure that things aren't getting chippy early here at 31-0.
Yeah, this is the doom scenario for Colonie. This is not what they wanted to get. And you know, under this system that they have now in place, instead of 8 teams in the playoffs in AA, you only have 4 teams in the playoffs, and you are staring at 0-2 going to week 3. And that puts your program in a lot of peril to make the playoffs.
There is no foul on the play. No foul on the play.
Picking up the flag. I saw a little contact over that. That's what made me think perhaps there was a little pushing and shoving, but instead it's all part of the game, and we will start. 1st and 10 for Colonie from the 20-yard line. And you know what the other thing, too, about it, James, is, you know, we make such a big deal, and we've talked about it now 2 weeks in a row. All right, top 4 make it. You're only putting 4 of the 10 teams in the playoffs. Here's the other part of the equation. If you are in and you're going to play, you know, we keep saying, because we've seen them now for 2 weeks, Shen and Shaker is maybe the 1 and 2 seed.
Well, Saratoga would certainly be in there.
Sure,
yeah.
But the 3 and 4 team, that's a really tough draw. If you're 0-2 and make this comeback and then have to draw one of these teams in the first round.
Yeah, you don't want to be the 4 scenario if you can avoid it. I mean, you really don't want to be having to play one of those top 3 teams.
Young rolling out. Near side, dancing free, tucking and running. Not a whole lot there, but good decision from Shea Young to not try and force it. Got a couple yards. Good job by Francis picking up the blitz, by the way.
You see Altenberger from the backside. Blowers is there as well. And as you said, you know, last series, you know, this is a situation where you get down like this, and now you're kind of forced to throw the football. And, you know, his numbers may not look good again this week just because, yeah, you're throwing in the situation where you know the defense is basically just sitting back and going, hey, we'll rush 3, we'll put 8, we'll put 8 back there, and you try to beat us.
Pin your ears back time. If you're a pass rusher, you don't have to really worry about getting caught by the draw. Young to throw again. Over the middle and low and incomplete, looking for Grimes. Brenner back in coverage.
And this is tough because not only are you not being effective in your passing, doing these plays, it's 3 seconds, 4 seconds off the clock, incomplete. If you don't get a first down, you're giving Shen another opportunity quickly with no time coming off the clock. So there's a lot of things that are just going against the Garnet Raiders here, and they're look to convert another 3rd and long.
3rd and 8. 4:33 to go first half. Shen in control. Young to throw, forced to step up on the run, throwing, looking deep, in the air and incomplete. Terrelong back in coverage, bodied up. Jacob Gonzalez, the intended receiver.
Gonzalez is not that tall, and he's had to try to go up to get the football, try to high point it there. We'll kind of let him out. The ball's a little bit behind him. If he throws it out to the outside shoulder, I think that Gonzalez probably would have been able to make that play, but a little bit underthrown. And see that the pass break up, 4th down, and another quick series that doesn't net a first down for Colonie.
And it's Hubbard back to punt for a 4th time. Low snap again. This time he recovers to get the kick away. Hopping and fielded by Brenner at midfield. Zach Brenner on the far sideline. Solid return. Brenner taken down in front of the Colonie bench, but after a one-hopper, Brenner picks it up and gets a real nice return. That's a young man who's battled injury and a long off season to get back on the field, so that feels pretty good to help
Brenner,
his team.
Great job at the point when he got the football. He made a nice little inside move, and you see Jared Russell thinks he's got him lined up.
Nice.
And he doesn't, and there's a couple other guys getting taken out. Actually, 2 of the Colonie defenders took each other out running into each other.
Brenner's worked hard to come back from injury, hip injury this offseason, and battled to get back on the field, and now find a niche not only as a defensive back starter, but also as the team's punt returner. Brendan Belot back on the field for the first time in what feels like a while. Time to throw. Cox and fires. End zone, and it's incomplete. Just out of the reach of his intended target, Jonathan Ray.
Jonathan Ray's going, oh man, I got some separation just a little bit too far out in front. Belot, nice job avoiding the pass rush there. Rogers trying to get to him. It's a situation, and try to get your hands on it. Wasn't able to pull it in.
So Belot uncorks one that's just a little too long for Ray. 2nd and 10 now for Shen. Ball at the 32. Beach back into the game, goes in motion. They come back to him on a end-around sweep. Wrapped up by Francis and taken down at the 25-yard line.
Good work there. The interior line for Shen. Also Altenberger. A nice block there to let Beach. A little inside handoff to the speedster. And
held in check.
Lowers
after 60 on the last carry.
Lowers his average quite a bit.
Right.
My Lord, what is he doing?
Cut it in half, down to 30-something and change after that one. 3.5 to go, first half. Shanahan joining Belot in the backfield. Faking to Shanahan, designed run for the quarterback. Belot gets an edge block, spins inside the 20-yard line. Close to the 15 is Brendan Belot.
Francis with the open field tackle, get a penalty flag on the field, and Belot, who would never have done that last year, they really did not run those kind of plays for him, but they have no contention to not do that this year, and he's had opportunities in the running game last week. He had 9 carries for 57. A few of those were, scrambles where he got away. They're going to call the hold against Shen. They'll march off 10. Charlie Seifer, our referee tonight.
I feel like Charlie was looking at the offensive line, giving him the old
holding. Green 10-yard flag.
He gave him the business.
Well, he gave the red catch. He gave him the look like, yeah, you did.
You did.
Yeah, you did.
Don't try to talk your way out of it.
The line was telling him,
your
hey,
speech was good, but my flag was better.
Exactly. Charlie gave him the look like, you did it. You got caught. Let's go.
Timeout call here by Shen.
So the Plainsmen take their first timeout of the night. 3:08 to go first half, and all Shen 31-0 here. Well, remember, with our Friday night football games in full swing, you can watch a special edition of Capital Tonight with Liz Benjamin Friday nights at 5:30, and then watch the replay at 11:30. It's Capital Tonight, and you can only find it on Spectrum News. Drink up, boys. One of Brian Clausen's boys right there, and red number 3. He's got 3 of them who are coming through the program.
The water is a little colder when you're up 31-0 and 3:08 to go in the second quarter.
Everything tastes better. And listen, I think, obviously a lot of football to go, and they want to finish the game the right way. But for Shen, winning last week 28-14 in a game they feel like they not only could have and should have played better, to win by 2 touchdowns, it was a start. I think this is a pretty good week 2 performance thus far for the Plainsmen.
No doubt. And then the next week they will be at Niskayuna. Niskayuna got off to a strong start last week, and then week 4 they got Shaker. So they can put themselves in a very good spot going into potentially a week 4 matchup against the Lou Bison.
Belot to throw. Pump fake. Running right. First down and out of bounds goes Brendan Belot.
It's a good decision. Again, his maturity level and what he's been able to do. He had the ability last year, and the coaches were very high on him, but he got forced into some stuff, and then when they got behind against good teams, like Saratoga and against Troy in the semifinals, he was kind of forced to do what Shea Young's had to do tonight, which is throwing the ball when the defense is expecting it. There really isn't no running game that's going to help out, and his decision-making is much better. And one of the things that Coach Clausen said is he really benefited from the 7-on-7s, and they did very, very well. A lot of new receivers were able to get acclimated to him, and vice versa.
12-yard gain, new set of downs for Shen. Inside 3 minutes to go, first half. Hard count from Belot. They give it to Shanahan on the ground. Shanahan dragging Raider defenders with him. Among them was Josiah Kemp.
Yeah, and Francis also, and both of them did. They get dragged, and you're thinking 168, how's he dragging? Well, that leg power that he has and that balance that he has from judo and wrestling, you see there, I mean, Kemp's no lightweight, and he's just getting pulled along for the ride.
That dude knows all about body control and using his physique to his advantage, huh? Translates well to the backfield for the Plainsmen. Second and short. Belot give it to Shanahan again, cutting towards the middle this time. Originally started out following a Billy Machuca block, peeled off and head back for the center.
Machuca, the junior, getting some time in there. Another flag comes in. It's going against the Plainsmen. Illegal shift against Shen.
Let us hope that the flags aren't as apparent as they were a week ago. We had a lot
or
of those
last
going
night.
on.
I mean, watch the Atlanta-Philadelphia game. I think it was like in the second half, the ratio was 1 for every 3 plays.
Colonie jumps, gets back onside. Belot fakes the handoff. Now dances out of the pocket, steps up and fires to the end zone. Caught for the touchdown. Second time tonight, Josh Schwartzberg with the 19-yard touchdown.
When the ball went in the air, Chris, I think the defensive backs for Colonie thought the ball was going in the aerial throw to Altenberger, and they sort of left the outside open, and there was enough daylight there, and I think that the defensive back that was furthest towards Schwartzberg thought there's no way Belot's going to get it over the top. Well, guess what? He put it right there. It was a little wobbly, but boy, it had the trajectory and a great throw.
And Hubbard had already started to fall off the play and was down on the deck, so it was a pretty easy one for Schwartzberg to run under, get the toes in, and get his second touchdown. New PAT kicker is on and booting it through. Andrew Simons comes on to kick for that one. Another look at Belot. Escaping, you're right. Oh, it's a wobbler, but it gets the job done.
It gets the job done. It gets to where it needs to be. And a nice pick up there of the blitz there by Shanahan to give his quarterback time, who kind of threw the ball off of his back foot going to his left. And you see there, he steps up, throws it, and perfectly thrown. And you see there Hubbard's going down. He tries to put his hand up, but it's to no avail, as you see another short drive after a punt return there. 5 plays, 32 yards, 19-yard reception. Second of the night for a score for the senior.
Everything coming up Shen here in the first half, now with a 38-0 lead. Schwartzberg's having a night, by the way. 4 catches, 64 yards, and half of his catches are for touchdowns. 2 scores tonight. Not a bad night. And miscommunication from Colonie will allow that to get into the end zone for a touchback. Gonzalez and Hubbard, nobody wanted it, and it scoots into the end zone.
Well, field position, again, you don't get a return, and every time you're starting from your own 20 after the scores.
Well, this will likely be a situation where the Shen second team and potential third team will get some run here in the second half of this game, and that is not a luxury that Eric Rouleau has on that far side for Colonie. He came in undermanned when it came to roster size, and his guys he felt like they were going to have to be in better condition. They were going to have to be ready to go a full 48 tonight, and they still are going to have to be, even though the score is getting away from them. Pitch it out for Hubbard, looking for the edge, and Hubbard tiptoes the sideline, stays on his feet. Christian Hubbard trying to go the distance. Hubbard, 80 yards for the score, and Colonie gets on the board.
Well, you finally mixed in a run, quick toss sweep to the left, and Shen's thinking, okay, well, they've been throwing on every down the last couple of series, so they gave him a little bit of different wrinkle on it. Excellent job. When Hubbard got to the sideline, he very easily could have gone out of bounds. He did a nice little jump there, kept his balance, avoided the tackling attempt. You see there, short side toss sweep. He gets to the corner, and right there, he looks like maybe he's going to go out of bounds, and he kept his balance, and he stayed in bounds, and thinking that Schwartzberg's thinking, oh, he's going to go out of bounds. Actually, Milby was the guy, number 9, that came up, Adam Milby, and it was a foot race after that, and Hubbard wins it.
Surprised he was able to stay in bounds. It's good body control and good awareness by Christian Hubbard, the junior, who goes 80 yards for the touchdown. His night now, 3 carries, 102 yards, and a score. And Colonie at least on the board here before halftime, so that monkey's off their back, and they line up to go for 2. Young to throw, near side, throwing the fade up there, and it's caught by Kemp for the 2-point conversion. Josiah Kemp goes up and around the defender to make it 38-8.
Well, this is a situation, yeah, you love if you're Colonie, you love to get the score, you love to get on the board. This is the kind of series they would have loved to have had early in the game to get out to a quick start, and instead it's after they've given up 38 points, and They get within 30 with 1:24 to go in the half, and it was a one-play drive, and then a nice little pass there from Young to Kemp to get the two-point conversion.
Another look as Hubbard stays in on that far side. He got
wobbly,
walking
as he turned the corner, but you know, again, you got Shen. They're thinking, look, they've shown nothing that they're not going to run. They're just going to throw the ball, and you see there's some good blocking down the field. Kemp with a nice block, and Grimes with a pickup, and then you see there, you just got guys. They took a couple of bad angles, and obviously the last line of defense there with Milby. He comes up from the secondary, doesn't get him out of bounds, tries to push him, takes a bad angle, and the speed of Hubbard, I think, surprised him. And then you see there the sophomore trying to run him down from behind, but Hubbard had too much of a head start, and the extra point, which was negated, they decided to go for the two-point conversion. They got that, and you see Hubbard will now kick off.
Well, and Christian Hubbard's also got that track speed, too. That's the other thing, that breakaway speed. He's another one of those track and field guys. He can get out and go with the best of them.
Colonie's always had a long history of good triple jumpers, good sprinters, and is something that they've had relay success at the state level. They've had a lot of sprinters and guys that do the hurdles that have had success over the last 25 years.
Hubbard will be the one to put a boot to it. This is going to be a short kick. This will be fielded at about the 20-yard line, and that is Shanahan back on the kick return duties, looking for the far sideline. Shanahan taken down in front of the Colonie bench. Flag comes in. Let's hear from Marissa.
Hey, Chris, well, one of the goals for Shenendehowa in this game was a shutout. Obviously, that's not going to happen now. The guys on the sideline a little upset, but they said, you know what, let's shut them out in the second half. That's our second goal. Speaking of that second half, you guys talked about it, but we expect to see a lot of the second string and third string guys for Shenendehowa. They have so much depth, but Brian Clausen said last week they wanted to try and showcase that depth, but because of that game, they weren't able to, so he had to play his starters big minutes in that game. Definitely doesn't want to have to do that tonight here. Chris?
Yeah, and shouldn't have to in the second half, and you're right, Marissa. The best laid plans, I'm sure last week and week one, they think, hey, we'll get him a half of action, we'll get him 3/4 of action, then we'll get some guys some game reps. It doesn't always happen that way, and you're right. Shen's got the numbers. They can run the second team out there to start the third quarter, and those guys have backups, and they can play the fourth quarter.
And they've got the starters out here now with 116, and Colonie cannot think that they're just going to run the clock out. They got their number one offense out there, and they can score quickly.
Belot gives it to Terrelong. Terrelong looking for the edge. We know he's got the speed to go the distance. He's already done it once on defense. Big gain down the sideline. Goes Divante Terrelong.
Nice work there by Terrelong, and also a nice downfield block by Dissanel, the receiver. You're going to see him come up and take out Hubbard, and that gets the sophomore an extra 10 to 12 yards on the end of the run.
17-yard gain for Divante Terrelong, the sophomore for the Plainsmen.
And I saw him in their scrimmage. They went down to John Jay, and they had a four-way scrimmage, and he got your attention right away. And the coach said, look, he's going to play, he's going to get some run at offense, but he's going to start at defense, and he is a shutdown corner, and he's a big part of our plans the next couple of years.
Shen looking for more before the half. Belot going to throw for it. Over the middle. Intercepted. Picked off by Gibson. Coming across the middle for the interception, Marcus Gibson.
A little bit too greedy on that one. Belot was well short. He tried to go over the top. That ball was underthrown, and Gibson makes a great play on the football to get the ball back for the Garnet Raiders. They don't have any timeouts to work with. They have 59 seconds. But you see there, boy, that ball looked great in the air, but it was underthrown, and it was not accurate in its delivery. Not only underthrown, but it wasn't even where it needed to be. It was behind as well.
Gibson did a good job of undercutting the route, too, to kind of sneak in front of it.
He never saw him. He's locking in. He's thinking, I got over to the top. I can get there. I can get the ball to him, and he doesn't see the safety from the other side of the field coming across.
Let me tell you, Matt Tarullo, the big guy in the picture, he did a lot of guys to that on the offensive line in his days at Syracuse. Here's Hubbard wrapped up in the backfield and going nowhere.
Trying to run that same play, and it didn't get quite the blocking at the point of attack that they wanted to get.
J.T. Sturley, the first there to get the tackle.
And Sturley was in the backfield, and Hubbard, by the time he got the toss sweep, he's looking, and he's got a guy right in his grill. There's no ability to get to the outside the way he did on the previous play for 80 yards, and it looks like barring a big play here, it looks like the half is going to end with Shen comfortably ahead.
A 30-point halftime advantage staring them in the face. To the ground with Hubbard. Bouncing around the line, taken down, 17 seconds to go, and that will likely be it for the first half. It couldn't have gone better for the Plainsmen. Couldn't have gone worse for the Garnet Raiders. Go to halftime with Shenendehowa leading this one 38-8. Pretty impressive performance from the Plainsmen through the first 24 minutes of action. Got off to a hot start, never took their foot off the gas, leading by 30 at the break. We're back with more on Spectrum right after this.
Is your credit score keeping you from driving the car you want? Leah can help. When other dealers can't get you approved, Leah can. Regardless of your credit history, Leah can. We deal directly with over 30 lenders, so we can get you approved with the lowest rates available when other dealers can't. Leah can. Get pre-approved in seconds at leahcredit.com and get the car you want today. For family, for safety, for the future. Leah Cars for life.
Leah. White Fusion, Blue Escape, Red F-150, hot, forward, ready, break!
Your favorite ride plays here, and now's the best time to score and save big. With a deep roster of new and pre-owned vehicles, get the home field advantage, Ford style, selection, savings, and service, and drive home a winner. Come and see the best lineup in the automotive field at Morris Ford in Burnt Hills.
Our military yards will always be #1.
In a world where every path is unique, we believe the best in digital infrastructure can transform healthcare with connected hospitals in places like Cleveland and support better patient outcomes in Honolulu. We believe today's digital campuses can empower students with greater insight in Charlotte and inspire a new way of learning in St. Louis. We believe a powerful digital connection can dazzle spectators on Broadway and enhance the movie experience in theaters in LA. A simple belief that every fiber-lit building fuels the industry in all of us. Let's turn the promise of technology into digital progress together. Spectrum Enterprise.
And welcome to the Morris Ford halftime show. This one, all Shenendehowa tonight. They packed the stands here tonight, and they're putting on a show at halftime, and they're putting on a show on the field as well. 38-8 at the break over Colonie. Thanks for being with us on the Friday night matchup. He's James Allen. I'm Chris Watson, and that was a pretty impressive performance from the Plainsmen.
It was. I mean, really, they controlled things at the line of scrimmage. They did give up some big plays. You're going to see when we show the stats on the overall yardage, it's going to look really impressive for Colonie, but it was basically 5 plays, and a couple of them were after they were well down in the game. And really, they gave Belot a lot of time to be able to operate. He did a good job of being able to diversify it around to different targets. They established that. And then Shanahan as well in the running game. And defensively, Shen made a lot of plays, and Colonie was in a lot of third and long situations. Makes it very easy to play defense.
Got down early, gave up a field goal, gave up a touchdown. Then they had, if Colonie had a busted field goal of their own, and they're just trying to come back. And every time you're trying to come back, they hit a couple big plays. Yeah. They just didn't capitalize.
Well, they had that big opportunity early, and Hubbard's open. And I think if he has it back, he runs a little bit further before he puts his hands out there. It's easy to look at that and say, well, gee, you're really being kind of critical on that play, but it was a big opportunity. I think they knew that. You can't let Shen get ahead of them the way that they did. It's really tough to be able to come back on the road, playing catch up with a lot of young players. You got 2 of your big players that are out. They're not healthy in this game. Eddie Soto is a 2-way starter, was their quarterback last year after Shea Young went down, and you put yourself in a real difficult situation on the road, knowing you're playing against a team that's very determined, that feels like it has a chance to win the AA championship here in Section 2, and you made it easy for them because you made it very predictable in some of the things you were doing. You did not have success on first down, you didn't have success on second down, and now you're basically pinning your ears back if you're Shen and going after Young.
Down on the sidelines, Marissa Jacks, you got a pretty good look at it. I think Shen was unhappy with the way they played last week. They feel like they didn't play up to their potential. I think this is a team that's playing to their potential tonight.
Yeah, Chris, absolutely. And when I came over and talked with the Plainsmen earlier this week, their big thing were those penalties. Too many penalties last week. They wanted to clean that up this week. And definitely in the first half, you could see the difference. They absolutely cleaned that up. For Colonie, they had a couple of big plays, but they had a couple of plays that they missed on big plays. And when you go back and you look at the tape, regardless of what happens, you're going to see those missed opportunities, but you're also going to look at it if you're Colonie and say, we could have been there. This could have been a much closer game. In watching Shenendehowa over the years, I would say this is probably right now one of the better teams under Brian Clausen that we've seen in a long time, Chris. And one of the reasons is the experience going into this season. Usually, Shen has senior-laden teams. Definitely the case this year again. But the seniors were juniors last year, and they actually got the opportunity to play. That made a huge difference coming into this season, and you see it right now.
And I think that's one of the keys. Not only did they get experience, but obviously they got better as well. Because a lot of teams get experience, but they don't play well together. These guys got experience and were a playoff team, and had to run into the Troys of the world, and they've used that to their advantage.
Talking with Brendan Belot about this, and look, they had a real bad taste in their mouth. He did personally, and they did as a team. They got destroyed at Troy last year in the semifinals. That did not sit well with them. They really said, look, we're gonna dedicate ourselves in the offseason. The specialists are going to do 7-on-7. The linemen are going to do camps. We're going to be ready. When we get to our senior year, we're going to be ready to roll, and I think they've got a big chance.
Yeah, and they're looking pretty good here tonight with a 30-point halftime lead. So, Marissa, we talked football. Let's talk to the guy who makes all things athletics go here at Shenendehowa.
He absolutely does. He's the athletic director here, Chris Coleman. Chris, thank you for joining us. What do you think of this game? I mean, you got to like this.
Oh, I'm loving this. We actually kind of watching some film with the coaches during the week. Colonie played Bethlehem really tough last week, and great to see our boys getting an early lead, and hopefully we'll keep it going in the second half.
And Chris, what is it like to see such a big crowd here? I know it's Junior Plainsman night. These are the future stars, but this crowd is unbelievable.
Yeah, we'll be pushing around 5,000 people here at the game tonight. The one thing that I love is when we do that tunnel at the beginning of the game, and that our varsity players were once Junior Plainsmen who stood there and cheered for the guys as they came out, and now they're the guys running through the tunnel. So it really does become about tradition and about legacy, so that these young kids will see this, and one day they want to be future Plainsmen.
Chris, I said it just a couple of minutes ago, but this is probably one of the most talented teams that Shen has had in a little bit, mostly because of the experience. Those guys got the experience last year. You've been here a long time. Do you see that this team, not to put pressure on them, but might be something special?
Yeah, I actually think we won it in 11. We went all the way to the state semifinals, did the same thing, came up that 3 yards short to getting to the state championship in 14. And I think this team is on par with those teams from the perspective of the experience that they have. They have tremendous leadership. The captains of this team are fantastic, and I really do think this is a really special group.
Chris, a brand new press box, a media box that you will dedicate at homecoming, very special to Shenendehowa, dedicated to Christopher Stewart. How nice is it? The Stewart family has been trying to get this done, that it's finally done. It's beautiful. It looks great.
It's been incredible, and Mike and Regina had this vision for making sure their son was remembered at this stadium, and whether it was somebody donating $1 or Senator Tedesco's office donating $100,000 through a grant, and then our Board of Education, Dr. Robinson, coming up with a way to finish it off. It has been tremendous. The first time I took Mike and Regina up into the press box after it was completed, they were really overwhelmed. It was a really emotional experience. And I think it's going to be a really emotional experience when we dedicate it on homecoming in a couple of weeks. And I'm looking forward to it, because it was such a sad event for us to go through with losing Deanna and Chris, but to be able to celebrate that we've been able to accomplish this and remember Chris forever here is going to be something I'm really looking forward to.
Chris Coleman, the athletic director, thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it. We look forward to that homecoming ceremony. Chris and James, let's send it back up to you guys in that brand new media box.
We will talk more about this awesome facility and what it means to those folks, but I think Chris put it in pretty good words right there. Plainsman dominating hit the first half.
I was a military brat. I've lived all across the country, from Florida to Alaska. I'm here in this community because I love upstate New York. I'm a mom. I'm a volunteer. I started a podcast. It's really interesting to talk to people and find out what is their passion. I feel that's just an extension of being a journalist. Sometimes people think of me as their family because I'm in their home day in and day out. And that is a true honor, telling them the stories that are happening in their community.
Available now with Spectrum On Demand.
Together, we can stop Thanos.
I think we'll pass. Just kidding.
Ready?
Yes!
Marvel Studios' Avengers Infinity War. Rated PG-13. Available now with Spectrum On Demand.
Move or die. Bring it on, One-Eyed Willie.
Your bullets, they're really fast.
Deadpool 2. Available all month long with Spectrum On Demand.
Come work for an innovative company that pushes the boundaries of connectivity, entertainment, and information. Spectrum, America's fastest growing TV, internet, and voice provider, is looking for individuals who are interested in making the most out of their career. Employees enjoy full benefits, best-in-class 401k, and complimentary services. Spectrum has a wide range of positions available, so find the right opportunity for you. Just go to jobs.spectrum.com and apply today.
If you're in the market for a new vehicle, come on down to Morris Ford. Hi folks, it's Charlie Morris here at Morris Ford, and we've been in business for over 45 years, and we've increased our inventory selection just for you. But if you're looking for pre-owned, we have a large inventory including our certified pre-owned vehicles. So if it's new or if it's used, then look no further than Morris Ford in Burnt Hills. Let our 45 years worth of experience work for you.
Our military yours will always be #1.
Anderson Boat has served you with the experience and expertise to satisfy all your boating needs and expectations for over 65 years. We feature Starcraft pontoon, deck, bow rider, and fishing boats, as well as heyday wake boats. We are a certified Platinum Mercury dealer with over 300 years combined experience, giving you hassle-free sales and service with no surprises or hidden costs. With us, you're not just a customer, you're part of the Anderson Boat family. Check out our customer reviews, come visit our showroom, and you be the judge. Anderson Boat, Burnt Hills, New York.
Welcome back to our Friday night matchup now, a very special presentation. I'm joined by Senator Jim Tedisco and Kieran Shanahan, our Spectrum Scholar athlete. Senator Tedisco, if you want to do the honors now.
Yeah, just let me say it's great to be with you in Kernan, and this validates the fact that all good things emanate from the 49th Senatorial District. In Kernan, and your high school here in Shenendehowa, your teammates and you really represent those good things.
Thank you.
I'm here, first of all and foremost, to congratulate you on an unbelievable career in football and in wrestling. I guess 42-2 this year. You only had 2 losses this year. Tremendous effort. And to have a 90 average scholastically, that is tremendous also. And I know you're going on to North Carolina. You're going to be playing sports there. And we expect this is just the beginning of a lot of tremendous success for you. But on behalf of Spectrum, I'd like to present you. You're going to have to get a bigger trophy case, I think. This is the Scholar Athlete of the Week Award from Spectrum. Thank you. And I want to present this to you first and foremost. And I have the opportunity, being your senator, to present this New York State 2018 Commendation Award honoring Kieran Shanahan. And that's from me to you as a keepsake.
Thank you.
In this commemorative Senate coin. So now you got a lot to show those guys at North Carolina, and we know you got a lot of important successes ahead of you. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Now, Kieran, as we said, you're heading to North Carolina State to wrestle on a scholarship next year. $1,000 here with this scholarship, and you said, what are you going to do with that money?
Well, I heard that NC State, the books cost a lot, so it's definitely going to go towards that and take down the cost, and this is just awesome. I'm so grateful.
How much are you looking forward to the rest of your season here with your Shen football team and then getting back on the wrestling mat in the winter?
I just can't wait to make some big things happen this year and then wrestle and make even bigger things happen in wrestling with my team.
And Senator Tedesco, you touched on it, but how nice is it to see such a high caliber of scholar athlete from your district?
Well, it's tremendous. You know, our whole lives are about a team. And I know he's done tremendous scholastically, but I think he's learned that important part of a team is that if you don't care who gets the credit, everybody can get the credit and you can achieve unbelievable successes. And as an individual, he's shown he's not only a tremendous athlete, but he's a team player and a team member. And that's an important part of his family, of his future at North Carolina State, and any job he undertakes. Tremendous lessons he's learned, and he can illustrate those to the rest of his teammates later on.
Senator Tedesco, thank you so much. Kiernan, congratulations, and thank you very much. We appreciate it. Chris, listen, back up to you.
Marissa, thanks. Congrats, Kiernan. He had a pretty nice first half. He was over 100 yards rushing last week. He's not going to need to be over 100 yards rushing in this one, but he did find the end zone twice in the first half.
52 yards rushing and a very strong first half for the Plainsmen.
Kiernan is kind of the force in the backfield. They don't really do running back by committee, and they're just going to give it to 29. That's not a bad recipe.
Yeah, he did a nice job. He actually had one that got called back on a penalty. Otherwise, he'd have a little bit more, but some good work there once he got put through the first wave of defenders, some nice little cutbacks, and very decisive running. A lot of downhill straight ahead, but he uses those hips well and made a couple of nice moves, gets in the end zone twice, helping the Plainsmen open up a 30-point lead here, and then toss sweep there. 4-yard touchdown run, his second of the night. In the second quarter, makes it 38-8.
That's where you're at. Halftime, Shen in control, 38-8. More on Spectrum right after this.
Is your credit score keeping you from driving the car you want? Leah can help. When other dealers can't get you approved, Leah can. Regardless of your credit history, Leah can. We deal directly with over 30 lenders, so we can get you approved with the lowest rates available when other dealers can't. Leah can. Get pre-approved in seconds at leahcredit.com and get the car you want today. For family, for safety, for the future. Leah Cars for life.
Leah! White Fusion, Blue Escape, Red F-150, hot, forward, ready, break!
Your favorite ride plays here, and now's the best time to score and save big. With a deep roster of new and pre-owned vehicles, get the home field advantage, Ford style, selection, savings, and service, and drive home a winner. Come and see the best lineup in the automotive field at Morris Ford in Burnt Hills.
Our Libertarians will always be #1.
Anderson Boat has served you with the experience and expertise to satisfy all your boating needs and expectations for over 65 years. We feature Starcraft pontoon, deck, bow rider, and fishing boats, as well as heyday wake boats. We are a certified Platinum Mercury dealer with over 300 years combined experience, giving you hassle-free sales and service with no surprises or hidden costs. With us, you're not just a customer, you're part of the Anderson Boat family. Check out our customer reviews, come visit our showroom, and you be the judge. Anderson Boat, Burnt Hills, New York.
If you're in the market for a new vehicle, come on down to Morris Ford. Hi folks, it's Charlie Morris here at Morris Ford, and we've been in business for over 45 years, and we've increased our inventory selection just for you. But if you're looking for pre-owned, we have a large inventory including our certified pre-owned vehicles. So if it's new or if it's used, then look no further than Morris Ford in Burnt Hills. Let our 45 years worth of experience work for you.
Our Libertarians will always be #1.
Back for the Morris Ford halftime show. Chris and James upstairs as it is all Shen in this one, 38-8 at the break. Take a peek at the first half stats, and I tell you what, it didn't get off to a terrible start for Colonie. They were still in the football game, but a couple miscues didn't go their way, and Shen just didn't let their foot off the gas.
Yeah, and even though the yardage winds up being pretty close in the first half, it's pretty much all Shen here. Milad takes a sack here. Jared Rossi with a good job and forces a 27-yard field goal attempt from Carly. He makes it 3-0 Shen. Second series, Shanahan gets in the end zone. The first of 2 touchdowns from him, 1 yard on that toss sweep. The extra point from Carly makes it 10-0. Marcus Gibson looks like he's going to go down, and before you know it, he's off to the races. And big run there, the longest run of the first half for Colonie, 44 yards. Gets him into Shen territory for the first time, and Shea Young goes up top on a 4th down play, and Christian Hubbard, the junior receiver, makes a great play. He gets the ball wrestled away from him, but not before he comes away with the first down pickup. And Brendan Belot had a strong passing first half. He takes a big hit there, and there's a penalty on that play, actually 2 penalties on that play. It sets up Dissanel to throw the option pass, and he sets it up in the end zone for Schwartzberg. Now, Billy Bean gets his first opportunity to touch the football, and he gets 60 yards taken out inside the 5-yard line, gets the wind knocked out of him. So Shanahan gets the opportunity. He takes it in from 4 yards out. The extra point from Carly extends the lead. Shea Young goes up top. Nice adjustment to the football by Josiah Kemp for a first down pickup. Young now tries to get down the field. It's intercepted by Triolage, and he takes it to the distance on a 75-yard interception return, and Belot goes up top again. Schwartzberg, the touchdown, and the toss sweep now out to Hubbard, and this is the biggest play of the first half. 80 yards down the sideline, and it's going to make Colonie's offensive stats look really, really good, except for they're down 30 points, and then Belot tries to go up top, and he gets picked off there by Gibson. Nice adjustment to the football by the junior. So it is halftime, Shen up 38-8.
The Morris Ford halftime stats brought to you by Morris Ford, your hometown dealer since 1972. Let our 45 years of experience work for you. Pretty even, but as you mentioned, Colonie hit most of their...
5 plays, 200 yards. The rest of the plays, 27 plays, 25 yards. So the continuity of the offense wasn't quite there. And, of course, they did a lot of the big plays when they were down double digits in points.
All right, I was supposed to say hi to my kids and wave to them, but we're off camera, so I'll just say hi to my kids. Jenna, Charlie, go to bed. Dad's thinking about you, and we got a whole second half of football. 38-8 at the break. Shen in control.
Anderson Boat has served you with the experience and expertise to satisfy all your boating needs and expectations for over 65 years. We feature Starcraft pontoon, deck, bowrider, and fishing boats, as well as heyday wake boats. We are a certified Platinum Mercury dealer with over 300 years combined experience, giving you hassle-free sales and service with no surprises or hidden costs. With us, you're not just a customer, you're part of the Anderson Boat family. Check out our customer reviews, come visit our showroom, and you be the judge. Anderson Boat, Bird Hills, New York.
When you want to look your best, you go to the best. Dr. Chow is the Chief of Plastic Surgery at St. Peter's Hospital and the Chairman of Surgery at Saratoga Hospital. His education spans from Harvard to Columbia to Northwestern. The team at Chow Plastic Surgery performs the most technologically advanced surgical and minimally invasive procedures, including cool sculpting and many other laser treatments, all in a comfortable and relaxed environment. Chow Plastic Surgery, enhancing the Capital District, one body at a time.
Available now with Spectrum On Demand.
Together, we can stop Thanos.
I think we'll pass. Just kidding.
Ready?
Yes!
Marvel Studios' Avengers Infinity War. Rated PG-13. Available now with Spectrum On Demand.
Move or die. Bring it on, One-Eyed Willie.
Your bullets, they're really fast.
Deadpool 2. Available all month long with Spectrum On Demand.
Is your credit score keeping you from driving the car you want? Leah can help. When other dealers can't get you approved, Leah can. Regardless of your credit history, Leah can. We deal directly with over 30 lenders, so we can get you approved with the lowest rates available when other dealers can't. Leah can. Get pre-approved in seconds at leahcredit.com and get the car you want today. For family, for safety, for the future. Leah Cars for life.
Leah.
Almost time to start third quarter action here at Shenendehowa. It's all Plainsmen in this one, as you know. Marissa caught up with Brian Clausen. Marissa, what did the coach have to say?
Well, Chris, he told his players this was the best half that we've played this season. Yes, it's a short season, but he said, I was honest with the guys. I thought they played excellent in that first half. But he also said it's 0-0. When you look at how quickly Colonie scored, we know what they can do. So Brian Clausen is sending his starters back out there. He said they're going to play well into the third quarter, Chris.
Okay, I'm a little surprised. I mean, a 30-point lead. I can understand wanting to leave them out there. Listen, they played well. They deserve to be out there, and you know, you don't want to give them all night off, I guess, and have them sit around, but I can't expect we're going to see a whole lot of them for the remainder. We'll see.
Well, it's a situation, Chris, sometimes, too, when you get in there, you don't want to just have them in the mentality that you're going to only play a half, because you're going to need to play a lot of games. You're going to have games down the road with Shaker and with a few of the other top contenders in Saratoga that you're going to need to have your guys out there, your starters out there for the whole way. And I think they'd like to be able to kind of reestablish control there. And, you know, yardage-wise, it's going to look like, boy, if you just tune in, you're saying, wow, it's only a few yards difference. But there was 5 plays that totaled 200 yards. One of them was that 80-yard toss sweep that got Colonie on the board. So the yardage-wise is going to look like it's a little bit closer game than it was, but Colonie just did not have the down-to-down continuity in their offense that they would like. And I think Shen would like to be able to kind of reestablish control, give their starters a little bit more run tonight, and then get them off the field and get ready for week 3.
Absolutely, and try to play clean football here. Let's put the flags away and everybody play good football, and let's get out of here and move on to week 3, because Shen has certainly done their part here tonight, and Colonie, unfortunately, going to be looking at an 0-2 start to the season and going to have work to do.
I think if you talk to Coach Eric Rallo and his coaching staff, and you said that at halftime you'd have 225 yards offense at Shen, how would you feel? I think you would have felt pretty good. The only unfortunate thing is they didn't hit on a couple of the big plays and the big opportunities they had early in the game when the game was still very much up for grabs. And unfortunately for them, some of their big plays came when they were already down 25 and 30 points. So.
And Colonie won the toss to start this game and elected to receive. So that means with a 30-point lead, Shen will start the third quarter with the football. Christian Hubbard will kick it off. 3 are back, including Shanahan for Shen. And that will hop around the 8-yard line and be picked up by Zach Brenner. Brenner looking for the edge. Solid return over the 30-yard line goes Brenner. Been a good player on special teams tonight for the Plainsmen.
Kemp on the stop. Very active in the first half on both offense and defense for the Garnet Raiders.
So, as Marissa said, B-Lot and the starting offense rolls back out there.
And if you're Colonie, you'd like to be able to get the three and out that offensively you suffered in the first half on Shen to start this half and get the ball back and get some more points on the board quickly. And force those Shen starters to stay out there.
B-Lot with Shanahan in the backfield. 2 at the top of the screen, 1 at the bottom, split wide. Low snap, B-Lot gives it to Shanahan. Runs into his offensive line, bounces off him, still on his feet. And falling forward is Shanahan, initially bouncing off of Kevin Faubert, and then Wyrock was standing there as well.
And Rossi thought he had him lined up for a loss and tried to get in there, wasn't able to make the tackle, and Shanahan's balance able to pick up a positive when it looked like it was going to be a negative play.
Got a couple, so 2nd and 8 for Shen. B-Lot quick hitter, outside incomplete, little low. Receiver Schwartzberg was laying out, diving for it, couldn't connect.
Quick and out of his hands, just a little bit underthrown and a little bit behind his intended target, who had 4 catches, 2 touchdowns in the first half, 1 from Dissanel and 1 from B-Lot.
B-Lot to throw. Nobody in the backfield. Dances out of the pocket. Now chased, wrapped up, and taken down. Gonzalez wraps him up. Jacob Gonzalez with the sack. And a late flag comes down.
It's going to go against Shen, I believe, for a hold on the other side of the field. Will be waved off, and Colonie will get the 3 and out they were looking for.
So a good hold from the Colonie defense, who does it against the first unit for Shenendehowa. So that has to feel pretty good after they got moved around pretty good in the first half.
Holding. Penalties refused. 4th down.
So punt situation here for Shen. That brings Mitch Carley on, the kicker. Do the punting. Gonzalez is back to return for Colonie. Gonzalez standing at the 41-yard line. Carly with all day to line this thing up, and it is a line drive spiral that Gonzalez catches at the 36 and is immediately wrapped up, taken down. Flag comes down. Brenner is in on the tackle, making the tackle, but check the flag.
It's going to be for the tackle attempt around the head. Yeah, because he grabbed the side of the helmet, and they really are going to call that. They're going to either call it a horse collar, or they're just going to say that you can't do that. Safety thing, something you would have seen that would have not have been a call years ago.
Face mask.
It wasn't even so much the face mask, but grabbing the helmet.
And they're just not going to allow that. That's just a safety thing that's really come into play in the last couple of years, and that's the proper call in that situation. And Colonie will open the second half with the football on their first drive, and they'll have it at the 45-yard line. This is one you want to get a quick score and get some things rolling in a positive vein. This is a very dangerous Colonie team, as Coach Clausen alluded to, and they do not want to let them get back in the game.
Deshaun Jacobs was the guilty party for Shen, that now puts the ball at the 45-yard line for the Garnet Raiders. Young takes the pitch, gives it to Hubbard. Hubbard trying to string it out. Not a lot doing. Gregor there for the tackle. Kyle Gregor's been around the football a lot defensively.
So is Wyrock. I mean, he's been very, very active in chasing from the backside on Young when he's tried to roll away from him, and he's made some nice plays. Been very, very disruptive at that defensive end spot for the Plainsmen. A lot of experience, not only in offensive football, but defensive football for Shen, and second down and 10 after no gain by Hubbard.
And as we said, end of the first half, you're thinking Young's just going to drop back and have to throw it the rest of the game. They hit him with the Hubbard touchdown run of 80 yards down the side. They go to the ground there. Got to keep him honest a little bit and keep Hubbard going. With Hubbard in motion, they give it to him. Looking for the edge, and green jerseys are going to push him back. Wyrock in pursuit, looking for a block from Young. Hubbard's going to have to do this all by himself, and finally hit hard and knocked out of bounds. Ostrowitzki the tackle. Alec Ostrowitzki makes the tackle.
Wyrock forced that play again. You're going to see he got so much penetration on that initial play, even though he didn't make the tackle, and they reversed it away from him. You're going to see 76 there. He's basically forcing Hubbard to go the other way. He's got no chance to get around the corner that way. Takes a shot at the end of that.
A couple guys helped force it to Ostrowitzki, who made the tackle. Eventually it got to him, and on the pursuit on the far side, you saw Wyrock really took out Blowers as well. They both were on that side of the field. He lost his footing, and both the big guys went down. So this third and long, call it 3rd and 15 for Colonie, and penalty flag down. I was going to tell you they needed to get to the 35-yard line, but I think that's about to change.
Dead ball, illegal substitution.
Yeah, they had a receiver come into the play after they had broken the huddle. They were basically in the line of scrimmage. That's can't do that.
See Shea Young on the far side, getting the instructions from Dad, the offensive coordinator. And there's a good look at Gabe. So 3rd and 20. Need the 35-yard line. Young tipped into the air and incomplete. Batted down over there. Was it Blowers that got a paw up? 66 Blowers.
Another one of the captains, another one of those two-way starters. And in a perfect world, Shen likes to not have to start offensive and defensive linemen on, both ways, but these guys got a ton of experience, and they're necessary, and they feel like they've got a big opportunity this year. Got knocked out in the semifinals by Troy. Troy went on to win the state championship, and they feel like they definitely have a team that can get back to that Super Bowl again this year.
Hubbard back to kick. This has been an adventure, but he gets a good snap and gets a high booming kick away that hops at the 31 and starts going the other way, so Colonie's got it down it. No return from the Plainsmen. And we talked about it on last week's broadcast. If you weren't with us, Section 2 will have a new Class AA champ, and the state will have a new Class AA champ this year. Troy is now a Class A team, so you're not going to have to go through the Flying Horses. Marissa, what's cooking on the sideline?
Well, Chris, obviously a tough night here for Colonie and Eric Rouleau, but I do want to talk about Coach Rouleau. If the name sounds familiar to football fans in our area, it's because he was the captain of the 1996 Troy High team that won the state championship. I talked to Jack Berger about him and what kind of player and captain he was. He said he was strong, he was tough, undersized, but really did the most with what he had. He said he was one of those guys who really led by example. He wasn't a rah-rah type of player, but he did all the right things. And he said, at this point, I've talked with him. I know a couple of things. He's a great father and a great husband, and those two things are what I am most proud of. And I asked Eric, do the guys on your team know about your football days and winning the state championship? He said no. And when I asked the players, they said the same thing. Some coaches like to relive their glory days, not Eric Rouleau. He said, yeah, it fuels my fire, but it's not something I like to talk about with the guys. Hopefully someday they can get there themselves, but we don't talk much about it. I just thought that was really interesting. Chris?
Listen, and I think you've been around Section 2 long enough, and I speak about everybody on the crew, you and James and myself. It takes a special kind of player to play for Jack Berger. And it takes a special kind of player to be an impact player at Troy High for Jack Berger. And for a long, long time, you talk about doing things the right way. That's why Troy was so successful.
Well, I covered that team in '96. You see Shanahan with a great little run. Look at the end of this. He just rolls over the back of the tackling attempt from Gibson and gets his bench fired up. But that Troy team in '96, they did not have a superstar. They did not have a 1AA player. They didn't have a 1A player on that team. There were a lot of really just close guys that had gone through the wars together. They had suffered. In fact, they started 0-2 that year. They lost to Shen in Amsterdam and went on to win the state championship at Class A.
Going to pitch it for Beach this time, and Beach will rumble ahead to the 35-yard line. And then the other side of the equation is, you don't want to date yourself, but '96, there's not a lot of social media to fall back on. So your kids aren't going back and looking it up.
Out after the game.
So it's hard to find out how good your coach was in '96 because there's not a lot of stuff to get your hands on.
Well, look, I mean, there was a situation that that team was the first one. Now, the '93 team was the first one that won the Section 2 title. They did not get to the state final that year. They lost their quarterback, Rich Murphy, in the state semifinal against Yorktown. That was their first team that got to the Dome, and they finished it off, and it was a 4-year run of success. They got to the Dome every year. They won the '96 title in A, and they won the '98 title in AA. They were ranked #1 throughout the '97 season, all the way through to the state final, lost at 12-0, and then went back in '98, and I remember it distinctly because they had Bobby Bochetti was the starting quarterback, and I remember a couple of the opponents' defenders were laughing at him because he was about 5'0" and 100 and all he did was read the option attack to another state championship, and that run may never be matched from anybody from Section 2. 4 years, 4 straight Dome appearances, 2 state titles. Pretty impressive run for the Flying Horses.
Nice time-consuming drive here. If you're Shen with your starters still in the game, they'll pitch it to Beach. Still on his feet as it's not blown up in the backfield, and Beach has hit some big ones tonight, a 60-yarder being his highlight of the night. Cuts it now inside, goal to go.
That was a really patient run.
Yeah,
really
no doubt.
I mean, he really set up his blocks. So the toss sweep, he's got his lead, he's got his fullback out. He said, come on, get out there. He sees Altenberger, he lets him engage.
Gregor was still looking for somebody
to hit. He's like, come on, I'm going to follow you two, and I'm going to let you guys engage. And that was a really nice run there from Beach. Another big one for him. Another first down pickup. Sets up a 1st and goal. And Shen has the 3rd quarter running down, running off time off the clock, and looking to extend the 30-point lead. And what may be the final series on offense for the starters.
Yep, you wouldn't be surprised. Goal to go here from the 7-yard line, and a very time-consuming and effective drive so far for Shen here in the 3rd. They'll pitch it back for Shanahan, and Shanahan will find the end zone for a 3rd time tonight. 7-yard touchdown for Kieran Shanahan.
A very good scholar athlete, wouldn't you say?
That boy is kind of smart, good at wrestling, and scores touchdowns. Not a bad combination.
Really strong evening for not only Kieran Shanahan and the rest of the running game, but certainly from that offensive line. 3 senior starters, 2 junior starters, and they've won the line of scrimmage battle all night long.
Kick is up, kick is good, so make it 45-8. Shenendehowa on their way to their second win of the season as Shanahan finds the end zone for the third time.
This time he meets with a little resistance, but not before he's already into the end zone. You see Hubbard getting in there, and again, that toss sweep, and he's looking for, again, Blowers and company looking for somebody to block, and Wyrock finally gets Simon put down, but he's already into the end zone by the time he gets hit.
Oh, was it? When we talked about it last week, you know, in high school, how do you reward your offensive linemen? Like, what were the Saratoga guys going to do for their guys up
Donuts.
front? Yeah, somebody's buying munchkins, somebody's buying a full dozen. So, I mean, the dudes up front have done the job for Shanahan and Beach and
I mean, you're not getting Hublows or anything like that. I mean, you know, it's just, you know, it's not in their pay grade. So,
Taco Bell, man, I'm telling you.
Yep. Hey.
But they deserve
the $1
it.
menu, you know, you get there 2 to 5. You have to do it on a day you don't practice. Sunday, baby, you know, Sunday, hook them up.
So Carly's on to kick again. 3 guys back for the Raiders with under 4 minutes to go in the third. Carly puts a boot to it. Hubbard from the 5. Far sideline and taken down at the 21-yard line. Marissa working hard on the sideline. Marissa, we were going to need your expert input here for the final 15 minutes and change. What do you got?
I like chocolate glazed donuts, if that's what you were talking about, Chris.
Noted. Thank you.
Okay. So you guys are talking about the offensive linemen, and want to talk about Dylan Blowers for a second, because this is a kid who basically grew up with Shay Young. They're really good friends, family friends, and Shay's dad, Gabe, actually has been working out Dylan Blowers. He said about 4 or 5 years. He said he really looks forward to this game because of that relationship, and he wanted to come out here and show Coach Young what he has become. He's a big boy, and when he looked at himself, he said, this is really because of Coach Young. He's hoping to play in college and has done a great job with his footwork and with his speed. He said, I really owe that all to Gabe. So kind of a cool story there, guys.
Cool how it all stays together, you know what I mean? Like we talked about the old Troy days and how good Section 2 was, and listen, Section 2 has become really good at the state level, right. And like at that level you think, oh, you know, we're all rooting for each other to get to the Carrier Dome, and you know, when the Glens Falls get there, they want the Saratogas to win, and you want Cambridge to win for your section. Within the section, you want these kids to get better. You want kids to get looks to play the next level. You want a kid like a Dylan Blowers who's 6'4", 265 to be the best he can be, even if you got to play against him, because he can get a look at the next level, and that's going to get your kids the opportunity to get seen.
Well, look, and I think that one thing that maybe people out there that are casual observers, they look and they say, well, you know, some of these guys are going on. There's only so many Division I players in New York State. There just aren't many. And you're hoping that you get an opportunity and get some looks. And look, there's some really good players. I mean, Shay Young's only played his 6th varsity start tonight. He's already got a Division I offer.
That's right. Like we're going to Bryant.
And then you look at a guy like Blowers, and you look at Wyrock, and you look at some of them, and we've had some pretty good linemen, like Kevin Toot last year, and you look at some of the linemen, and they've had some success, and we've had some guys. Obviously, UAlbany's been able to tap into Section 2 quite a bit. They've had 1 and 2 starting linemen on their units almost every year since Craig Gattuso's taken over.
Straight up the middle. Good run from Marcus Gibson. Been a while since he's got a carry.
Well, you can see, I mean, look, if you're just looking at this game, you're tuning in. Colonie's got some weapons. I mean, they've got some guys that can, you know, put them down, and they just need a little bit of a lane to run in. You saw Hubbard at the end of the second quarter with a toss sweep and got to the outside and showed off his speed. Kemp's shown his ability to make some really great adjustments to the football. You've got Gibson, you've got Hubbard. You've got some weapons here. It's just unfortunate that from Colonie's perspective in this game, they put themselves in such a big hole early on.
Should be noted that is a majority of the second-team defense for Shen out there, and even that said second-team defense still has some big dudes out there. That includes Wyrock
as well.
Yep, who just helped wrap up and make the tackle. They have
been very disruptive tonight.
Rotated the new guys in. Altenberg will come out now.
But you see there, he takes on the block, and it's a no-win situation, and too powerful, too much leverage from the senior. He just takes the block and just rubs right off of it, and not Hubbard, Gibson has nowhere to go.
Inside a minute to go here in the third quarter with Shenendehowa leading 45-8. Shea Young gets him set where he wants, trips at the top of the screen. Pitch it back for Gibson. Gibson's going to have to make it happen on his own. Shen was in the backfield pretty much from jump on that. Liam Cunningham, 37, was first back there.
Sterling and company, plenty of resistance there as well. Cameron McNamara also among those, and last play here of the third quarter.
All right, it was Shen in control at the half. They punch one in the third and add to their lead. Shenendehowa on their way to the victory over Colonie here. Still the fourth quarter to go, 12 minutes of football to wrap it up. Plainsman leading Colonie 45-8 after 3 here on Spectrum.
When I first got into the news business, I cared a lot about just being a good reporter. It was all about the story. But as time went by, I got married, I had kids, I became more invested in the community. The stories meant something more. I cared about them in a way I hadn't before. Now, instead of just telling good news stories, I share them. I'm concerned about the issues that concern most families, our schools, our aging seniors, where our tax dollars are going, because I feel we're all in this together, and that's the best part. I'm Julie Chapman, anchor, Spectrum News.
White fusion, blue escape, red F-150, hot, forward, ready, break!
Your favorite ride plays here, and now's the best time to score and save big. With a deep roster of new and pre-owned vehicles, get the home field advantage, Ford style, selection, savings, and service, and drive home a winner. Come and see the best lineup in the automotive field at Morris Ford in Burnt Hills.
Our Declaration Yards will always be #1.
Boats by George is making a splash with savings. It's boating season, and now is the best time to save big on the Cobalt, Four Winds, or Marker One of your dreams. Browse the area's largest indoor showroom and let us help you find a boat that fits your lifestyle. Bow riders, cruisers, pontoons, ski boats, and more, all backed by an award-winning service department operating in a brand new state-of-the-art facility. Trust the dealer that invests in your boating satisfaction.
Boats by George, your winning team for generations to come.
Celebrating 36 years of service.
Is your credit score keeping you from driving the car you want? Leah can help. When other dealers can't get you approved, Leah can. Regardless of your credit history, Leah can. We deal directly with over 30 lenders, so we can get you approved with the lowest rates available when other dealers can't. Leah can. Get pre-approved in seconds at leahcredit.com and get the car you want today. For family, for safety, for the future. Leah Cars for life.
Leah.
3 quarters in the books here at Shenendehowa. All Plainsmen 45-8, as it's been most of the evening, on their way to their second win of the season. A 2-0 start for Brian Clausen and company. Garnet Raiders going to fall to 0-2. Should tell you that our location for next week is TBA. I let the cat out of the bag last week. I wasn't supposed to do that, so I won't do it this week. I'll just tell you, you need to tune in on Monday to Marissa's show at 5:45 to find out where we're going next week.
You were
where
loose
we will
bag
be.
last week.
I know. Me and secrets, not so good. I didn't know it was a secret. Nobody told me not to say anything. I didn't know it was a surprise party. So if you want to know where we're going to be for the bright lights and the TV cameras next Friday night, Marissa will let you know on Monday evening, not me. Running players onto the field at the last minute. The Garnet Raiders. Shea Young back to pass. Steps up in the pocket. Throws it. And it's incomplete. Nearly intercepted by Adam Milby, as Hubbard might be cramping up.
He got the cramp at the end of that route. Was underthrown. It should have been probably picked off, and there's going to be a penalty at the end of that.
Hubbard's still down. They're going to come out and tend to him now. And from this vantage point, it looked like he was cramping up.
It is a 10-yard holding penalty against the defense. Goes back to the previous spot, 10 yards, but repeat third down.
Not an automatic in high school, so it was 3rd and long. It'll be 3rd now and 8 after the 10-yard holding penalty, and Hubbard is still down, and he was the defender in the route. Or excuse me, the receiver in the route. The defender dove for the football, and then he pulled up. Ball was thrown behind him.
Milby had the best shot at the ball, couldn't make the pick, and Hubbard will walk it off.
He's done quite a bit of running tonight.
Yeah. 80 yards of it all at once. And then he had the busted punt that he took 30-something yards for a first down tonight as well.
You see there, almost interception, and you see there right when he takes that last step, Hubbard, and he went to grab her. He went right for it.
So you're looking at 3rd and 8 for Colonie right now. Ball at the 45-yard line. Young, pressure, eludes, steps up, fires, incomplete.
Well, actually, Dissonell was trying to make a play there out of bounds for Shen, but he's laughing like, yeah, I should have probably pulled that one in. Young did a good decision.
Wrong team, out of bounds, all of the above.
And the play was blown up, and then we've talked about it all night long. They've been able to get, Shen's been able to get some pass rush up the middle and to the sides of Young. And even though Sterling wasn't able to get there initially, he did force Young out of the pocket and nobody open. He had to get rid of it.
Scoreboard watching around Section 2, Class A. Final score, Troy over Amsterdam, 25-14. So unlike last week where we had a fairly shocking result from the two-time defending state champs in their season opener, Troy back on track. Here's Brenner down the sideline looking for some blocks, gets it over midfield with another flag on the play.
Flag was thrown as soon as the snap was delivered, so I'm thinking it's probably going against Colonie on the punt. I think they released somebody quickly.
Our 12th total penalty here tonight.
Yeah, Shen only had 3 in the first half. That was something that Coach Clausen and the coaching staff wanted to cut down on from last week, and through the first half they were able to do it. Shen had 3 in the first half. Colonie had 9. Or excuse me, 6. Now they have 9.
So yeah, 45-8 and now 12 flags total between the two teams. And back onto the field come the Plainsmen as Colonie's headed the other way. And Marissa and Chris Conlon alluded to it. We are inside the Christopher Stewart media box here at Brent Sturwald Stadium, but this press box and media box has been a long time coming, and it's dedicated to a young man who obviously meant a lot to the Shen program, and James and I had the opportunity to cover Chris Stewart, and in that same vein, Deanna Rivers, who were a couple of Shen students who a few years ago lost their life in a tragic Northway.
It's hard to believe it's been 6 years almost.
Yep.
It's just amazing. I'll never forget that morning. I was with him the day before. They had the AA awards at Shaker. He was awarded that day in the All-Star vote, and him and some of the guys he had gone against throughout his career, and the next morning he was gone, and Deanna Rivers was gone, and it still resonates even 6 years later.
And they in the Shen community, they'd never forgotten Chris, and his parents obviously are still a major part, as are Deanna's parents here in the Shen community, and they worked long and hard to get this memorial to Chris, and to be able to be here tonight to do the first game that we've been able to do and be inside of it, and this has been a labor of love for a lot of people. A lot of people gave not only their finances and backed this project, but they gave a lot of time, and they gave a lot of resources and energy. So
and the Rivers, their parents, Deanna's parents, have done a great job. They have the softball tournament that they have with the Section 2 Senior All-Stars at the end of the spring, and they've been able to do that. And this is sort of the way to honor Chris Stewart, and certainly they have the scrimmage. They have their inter-squad scrimmage is dedicated to him as well, and this is it's a beautiful addition to this field.
And I know Chris talked about it. Chris Colonie, the athletic director, talked about it. At homecoming, they will officially dedicate this press box, and that'll be a special night here. But for us to be able to be here for the first time, in week number 2 and do a game from here and see the hard work that went into this and be in this facility is pretty nice.
We're basically almost the 50-yard line, and it's a great vantage point, and it's just a great setup.
So well done, folks in Clifton Park here at Shen. You did a really good job and should be proud of yourselves for what you were able to do. On the ground they go, pushing the 40-yard line, close to first down yardage.
Kyle Gregor's, or no, it wasn't Kyle Gregor. It was
not that time. It was Shaw.
It was Shaw. And it's like
Harrison Shaw.
Fullbacks are going, come on, man, give me some love. We've been doing some serious work for our running backs, and Shaw gets rewarded. And I know Gregor's probably saying, hey, James, you mentioned me. Why don't we put me back out there and see if I can get one too? He did a great job blocking, though, tonight.
At this point, that's what it is for Shen. We should tell you that, obviously, you saw the new quarterback came into the game. That was Evan Bean, number 11. That's the first time we've seen him tonight. Comes in on this series with under 10 minutes to go, so replacing B-Lot and pretty much all the starters out of the game now, and they'll keep it on the ground. Powering ahead with his first carry of the night is Jacob DiRenzo.
And they've got some impressive guys in a roster with 50 guys, and obviously a lot of senior starters and a lot of experience coming back. JV team did pretty well last year, and they've got some guys that are going to be integrated into the mix, and they're going to get some more run as the season goes on, and opportunity here in this fourth quarter showcase what they can do, and do obviously the work in the preparation for the starters during the week, and now they're getting the opportunity to get some run here on TV.
And there's a good look at Bean, junior quarterback, heir apparent next year. First man through is the fullback. They give it to Shaw. Shaw keeps the pile moving over the 25-yard line. Keeps the clock ticking as well.
And this is a little demoralizing from the Colonie's perspective because their defensive starters are still out there, and they're getting pushed around here by the second unit going right down the field.
And we talked about not having the depth to be able to run a second line out there and really get, really give a lot of guys a blow and give them a rest of the night off. Eric Rulo just doesn't have that luxury.
And they got a big one next week. They go to Schenectady. Carm DePaulo back coaching the Patriots, obviously coming off a big loss in week 1 against Niskayuna, and Colonie looking to get their first win.
DiRenzo again, falling forward over the 20-yard line.
And for Colonie, it's going to be a huge week. I mean, if they want to have any hopes of getting back in the playoff mix, they're going to have to win next week and get on a string of wins. They won 4 to start last year. And they're going to end up 0-2 after this one, and another pick up there, and it's a offense that's getting some run here with the second unit.
Well, and you talk about different guys getting the chance to carry the football here tonight for Shenendehowa in a game that was lopsided fairly early on. They're up as a team 245 yards rushing, and now add this to the mix as well.
Yeah, they haven't had the big long gallops like Colonie had with Hubbard and an 80-yard run, and Colonie also had the fake punt that they were able to get a big gain on in that first half, where they had 5 plays for a total of 200 yards, and then the rest of their plays were 27 for 25 yards. So Shen's done it more methodically inside the tackles most of the time with Shanahan, and then obviously now with some different guys. And Shaw, nice job there, make a little spin cut and get some help from the backside. You can do that now officially. You used to be able to try to do that with your lineman pushing from behind and try to get away with it. Now it's something that's allowed.
So goal to go for the Plainsmen now from the 10-yard line. On the ground again, another new ball carrier. Down to the 5-yard line. This time Chris Cook with the carry.
He's not big, but boy, he can get lost behind those big linemen. You see him, he makes a little cut, and then it's hard to pick him up. Where is he? You see Logan Stark get in there and make the stop, but he gets bent down low. You can really lose him.
Takes it down to the 6-yard line. First carry of the night for Chris Cook, coming up on the 6-minute mark here.
I know from Colonie's perspective, certainly they don't want to give up another score, but if these Shen backups, I mean, this is their opportunity. They got another quarterback in there now, and they'd like to be able to get a score here. It's Michael Decker now at quarterback.
Yep, Michael Decker has come in to play quarterback. They'll keep it on the ground again. To the goal line. And in for the score for Shen is Evan Cummings. First carry of the night for him results in a touchdown, and Shen pushes it to 51-8.
Well, again, good block at the point of attack. Again, most of the Colonie defensive starters are still out there, and I'll tell you what, he didn't get in unless that point of the ball actually touched. All you have to do is touch the beginning stage of that line. Looked like from that angle, maybe he didn't, but they gave him credit for it.
Not going to nitpick now, right?
Nope.
Kick is up. Kick is good. No good, sorry. So keep it 51-8 as they miss the PAT and take another peek. I'm not so sure he wasn't down.
Yeah, it depends. And really, it depends on that football. Did it break the plane as he hit the turf? All it has to do, the front edge of that football has just got to touch that line. And did it before he went down. It's very close, but maybe he did. You know, on that view, it looked like maybe he did get there.
Debating for the sake of debate in a 51-8 game.
Not much to
Two
debate
guys
here.
entertaining themselves in the booth in a blowout right now is what it's turned into. Mentioned next week, we'll let you know where we're going to be on Monday. Marissa will let you know at 5:45 what the Spectrum News game of the week will be. Find out where this crew is hitting the road to next Friday night.
Where these teams will be next week. Shen is at Niskayuna, and Colonie is at Schenectady. So from Colonie's perspective, if they want to be a challenger for the playoffs, they've got to go to Schenectady and get a W and get some momentum going. They're probably a little better team than what they've shown through 2 weeks, but the record's going to say, as Bill Parcells famously said, you are what your record says you are. Right now, they're 0-2.
Big kick will get into the end zone. Parcells, nice segue. The rumor was Parcells was still in town.
Yes,
Maybe taking in the Schuylerville game tonight, I heard.
He's watching Schuylerville Naval Park, a little Class A versus Class B action. He obviously spends his summers up in Saratoga, spends a lot of time at the flat tracks. Season ended last week on Labor Day, and
glad to see he sticks. Well, I'm glad he sticks around and doesn't just bump out of town when the horses are done.
He said, hey, you know, I like the horses. I spend time. And the guy who's one of the assistant coaches for the Schuylerville team was the flying horse, Jack Bird.
Everybody knows about Jack. Yeah. Nobody knows better.
Well, I got one release. Maybe he's looking around at some horses. Black horses.
Shea Young still in there, quarterback for Colonie, going to put it on the ground. Stringing to the outside, looking for the edges. Donald Francis. Francis on the carry that time.
Well, people are going to look at the end results of these statistics, the offensive numbers, and they're going to look and say Colonie did pretty well. But again, some big runs and some big plays when the game was pretty much well decided, even though they did do it against some of the first string defenders that time with some of the second string defenders for Shen, and the first down pickup for Francis,
17-yard gain. Go to him again. Straight up the gut over midfield goes Francis. Nice solid carry over the 50-yard line. Going to be marked just short of the first down.
I bet you Francis and Hubbard and those guys are going, man, I'm glad Wyrock and Blowers aren't coming around on us, because sometimes we get the ball, we get hit before we even got any momentum going forward. This time, little read option there with Young, puts it in Francis's belly, and he picks up another big gain of 9 yards on first down.
5 minutes to go in the game. Young takes the snap. It's worked before, why not again? Here goes Francis. Over midfield, first down yardage and more. Only needed one, got a whole lot more than that.
Again, this is what we're talking about, and unfortunately for Colonie, they got off to a slow start. They got beat at the point of attack, and some of their offensive linemen just weren't able to get that push, and some of their really exceptionally talented skill players haven't been able to show off their ability. Now with some second-string defenders in there and a little bit more push, you can see what these guys can do. And Francis with 3 big runs here to keep this drive alive.
Why not again? Couple yards over the 40-yard line goes Donald Francis. He's been the workhorse on this drive.
Well, it's going to be very interesting to see what the other results for AA now. If you haven't heard us talk about it or you're just tuning in, new format this year. 10 teams in AA, down from 14 last year. No divisional, no Empire Division, no Empire Liberty Division. It's now 10 teams. You play 8 regular season weeks. You play all but one opponent among the other teams in the classification, and only 4 teams will go to the playoffs in week 9. It's very similar to the setup that Class D's run for a few years, and Class D doesn't have anywhere near as many teams, but only 4 go to the playoffs.
Switch it up in the backfield this time. Go to KJ Mansaray. Mansaray with a nice carry straight into the line. Got a yard or 2, bring up 3rd and 6.
And it's a situation, there's no crossover games now. So even though you might be off to like a Shen, that you're off to a 2-0 start, you can't afford to look ahead, because if you lose one game against a team maybe you're not expecting to lose to or nobody else expects you to lose to, your season can change very, very quickly, and that's what's made this particular year very, very exciting for the teams that are fighting it out for those 4 playoff spots.
Mansaray on the ground again, close to first down yardage and should have it. Sub 3 minutes to go in the game.
And the last time large school football adopted this format was in the final year before AA came into existence, 1995, and boy, that was a very interesting season. CBA, Bishop McGinn, Shen, and Saratoga were the 4 teams that made it to the playoffs. Shen and Saratoga got to the final. It was Shen by a point against Saratoga in overtime in the Super Bowl.
Mansaray on the ground again. Spinning close to the 10-yard line.
Cook with the touchdown saving tackle there.
KJ Mansaray, sophomore running back, getting some run here at the end of this game. Mentioned that, you know, Colonie roster-wise, they are probably lower than what they're used to being, 30 or so, but he's young too, you know. Coach Rulo has a young team. He's got sophomores on the team. He's got a freshman on the team. And, you know, those guys are going to be the ones that have to keep this thing going.
And one of his biggest leaders and biggest productive players did not play tonight, and that was Soto, starting on both offense and defense.
Pitch it back. Mansaray again. Bouncing off a couple guys inside the 10. Taken down with about 90 seconds to go.
Certainly, we talked about in the last drive for Shen, their backups wanted to get a touchdown. You better believe that the Colonie's backups will love to really get a score before this game concludes, even though it's not going to make anything other than a cosmetic adjustment to the score. It still feels pretty good. You put all that effort in week to week, getting your teammates ready, and you got a couple of starters out there, and maybe Mr. Kemp might see the football.
See what Young does with it here. Keep it on the ground. Mansaray's looking for that right edge. Undercut. Taking down ball. Comes out. Shen pounces on it. And that'll be it. Shen pounces on the fumble. Scoops up the loose ball.
Duncan Hill.
Yep, that drive stalls out for Colonie.
Duncan Hill with the hit that caused the fumble. And Jackson McQuaid, who's the son of the line coach, I believe is the guy who recovered the football. He did. That is Mark McQuaid's son.
So 32 Hill helps force the fumble. 82 McQuaid recovers the fumble, and 55.5 to go in the ball game here. Shen 51-8, and on their way to their second win of the season. Tough way for it to end for Colonie. Had a nice drive going there. So much damage done on the ground, and looking to punch one in. Feel a little bit better about what you were able to do to close the game, but not meant to be. Michael Decker still in at quarterback now for Shen in victory formation. Takes the knee with 40 seconds to go. touchdown should do it. Decker going to have to take one more knee. No. That'll do it. Shenendehowa, impressive from the start. Never took their foot off the gas, and pretty dominating performance from the Plainsmen here tonight. They knock off Colonie to run their record to 2-0 with a 51-8 victory over the Garnet Raiders. Celebrating the stands in Clifton Park tonight, Shen 2-0 after a big win. We're back to wrap things up on Spectrum right after this.
And just like that, it's fall. So while we all get back to busier schedules and regular routines, let's also get back to cheering on the home team, catching up with friends, chilling by the fire, back to bake-offs and game nights, then bedtime stories. At Price Chopper and Market 32, we'll take care of the food so you have time to get back to everything else.
Is your credit score keeping you from driving the car you want? Leah can help. When other dealers can't get you approved, Leah can. Regardless of your credit history, Leah can. We deal directly with over 30 lenders, so we can get you approved with the lowest rates available when other dealers can't. Leah can. Get pre-approved in seconds at leahcredit.com and get the car you want today. For family, for safety, for the future. Leah Cars for life.
Leah.
The world never stops. It's constantly changing, evolving, moving forward. And so are we. Introducing Spectrum Mobile. Built on America's largest, most reliable 4G LTE network, combined with our ultra-fast nationwide Wi-Fi network. Spectrum Internet customers get our unlimited data plan for $45 a line, or our Buy the Gig plan for $14 a gig. Call 833-204-7283. Then enjoy a faster, better connection with streaming, surfing, gaming, or whatever you're into. All with unlimited talk and text and no contracts. Call 833-204-7283. The best network, the best devices, the best value. Get Spectrum Mobile today with our unlimited data plan for $45 a line and save up to 40% on your mobile bill. Or get our Buy the Gig plan and pay as you go for $14 a gig. All with unlimited talk and text. Call 833-204-7283 or visit SpectrumMobile.com.
Pretty impressive performance by the Plainsmen here tonight, rolling Colonie 51-8. Upstairs, Chris Watson and James Allen, and you know, we said this was the kind of performance that Colonie didn't want to get in the mix of, get down early and have to try and come back. Listen, to Shen's credit, they made it that way. They came out and played pretty hard.
Even though they didn't get the touchdown in that first drive, they got points and they were able to keep it going, and they put it away early.
Down on the field, Marissa Jacks, what do you got?
Thanks, guys. We're here with Shenendehowa head coach Brian Clausen. Coach, you told me at half that was probably our best half. Overall, the whole game, you guys played really well.
We played really well. Our first game, Gilliland played pretty well. We thought they held us to 20, or we won 28-14. But we had a really good week of practice. Even though it was hot out, we went down to the Sportsplex twice, and we had great practice on Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday we looked pretty good, but they really came out to play tonight. It's great to do that in front of the home crowd, especially with the junior Plainsmen all being here cheering us on.
Two things you talked with me about earlier in the week: cleaning up penalties and tackling better. You thought the tackling was a little high last game.
Yep.
You did very well in both of those categories.
Yeah, we thought we pursued the ball well. The tackling was lower. Our defense did a great job. I mean, they gave up that one big run, but other than that, Colonie's got big players that can make big plays, but our defense really stepped up tonight and did really well, so we're very happy with them.
Coach, congratulations on a 2-0 start.
Thank you.
All right, Chris, let's send it back up to you.
Marissa, thanks. Brian Clausen, congratulations. Obviously there's things you want to clean up. You want less penalties. What do we say in the open? Week 1, week 2, you make your biggest jump. You go from a 28-14 kind of close game. You go to a blowout here tonight over Colonie.
And they did do the things they needed to do, and they did give up a couple of big plays, but on the whole, play to play, they were the better team.
All right, time for the player of the game, as always, brought to you by Anderson Boat. When you're buying an Anderson boat, you're not just buying a boat, you're joining the Anderson Boat family. Kieran Shanahan, our player of the game. Pretty impressive night for him. Didn't have a ton of carries, didn't need it.
Yeah, 14 carries, 83 yards, efficient with everything he did. He made guys miss. He broke tackles. His yards after contact were good. He made a couple guys pay, and even had a play where he rode the back of the defender and rolled right on and carried for more yardage. And he got in the end zone 3 times.
Not bad.
Sweet play there, 4 yards. That was the one in the second quarter. That was touchdown number 2. And there's another big run there. That was touchdown number 3 for the senior.
And a pretty nice night at the office. He's on the field with Marissa.
Chris, and he was the scholar athlete. Let's not forget that. Kieran Shanahan, our player of the game. A great game overall. You have to be pleased with the entire team effort here.
You know, I can't just give myself a lot of praise because of my line. You know, they do all the work. They're pushing all the defense back. You know, I just got to give it to them. They did an awesome job today.
2-0 right now to start the season. Kieran, you have to be pretty pleased with the way this group is coming together, especially the seniors. A lot of you guys got quality minutes last year, and that is showing this season so far.
Definitely. I mean, that experience was key into our success right now. We're just moving, and we're not stopping.
All right, Kieran Shanahan, our player of the game. Congratulations. Our Spectrum News scholar athlete, our do-it-all guy. He's going to go take off his cape, Chris. We're going to send it back to you.
We can drive you down the Northway to get you back for the show as well. I don't know if he can do that as well. Listen, more FaceTime for him. He deserved it. Hey, if this is the way it's going to shake out, Shen is one of the upper decker teams in the double A's. They proved it here tonight.
They did, and they did it in every phase. It was special teams. It was offense and defense. They put pressure on Young. They made him have a lot of 3rd and longs. They were 1 for 8 on 3rd down in the first half, and they made the game one-sided right away.
Take a peek at the final stats before we get out of here. You see the numbers are, fairly even, but obviously Shen dominated the football game, built themselves a pretty good lead, and never had to look back. And that's why Shen runs their record to 2-0. Colonie falls to 0-2.
6 big plays for Colonie, accounted for almost 250 of those yards. So a lot of other plays didn't do anything, and there was a lot of 3rd and out and 3rd and gone.
As we said, remember, Monday, 5:45 here on Spectrum News. Marissa will tell you where the TV game of the week is next week. For Marissa Jacks, James Allen, the entire crew, I'm Chris Watson. Good night from Clifton Park.
Weather in New York State can change every minute. Luckily, we've got it every 10. With Weather on the Ones, all day long on Spectrum News. From Albany to Saratoga, Lake George, and the Mohawk Valley. Wherever you go, you'll always be in the know with Weather on the Ones. Your forecast every 10 minutes. Spectrum News, exclusively on Spectrum.